Finger bear. And of course, I see the sign there. It said Go Bears. There's someone wearing a bear helmet with a giant sign that just says Go Bears. There it is. Hello. Excellent. That doesn't even look like Ursa. It's just it's like a children's bear hat. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, the Alchemist got dominated.
Yeah,
in that mid lane.
In games like this, when you're down into an elimination game, you're going to pull out a hero like that just to pick up a free win. But it's so hard to do it in a situation where he just had so much working against him. He didn't really have a lot of space. I felt like the biggest thing too is Nyx can be such a great hero because it denies so many different mid-hero picks. You can't pick any of the usual in-hero pool. But the big thing in that game is it had no purpose. He had nowhere to go. He goes bottom. There's not much for him to do there. There's not a lot of kill potential. So they can't really do much against his Anti-Mage. Then this Anti-Mage scales. Nyx is trying to salvage all 3 lanes. He can't really go anywhere. And now you're in a position where you just got one hero that's sort of dead on the map.
We've talked a little bit about the drafts. Let's talk about the plays, Purge.
Got some good ones.
Domination.
Yeah, like you guys said, it was very difficult for the Alchemist to have a good game because of the matchup. It was a Ursa versus Alch. You never really want to be against a Ursa if you're a melee hero. And the cool thing that happened here is that Somnus ended up grabbing a very fast Orb of Venom at the same time that OP thought he had Boots advantage. So if you have Boots advantage, it means you can get away. But that early delivery of the Orb of Venom gave him that extra slow on his opponent that guaranteed the kill. And then from there, it was just a lot of pressure coming from the enemy team. With the Bounty Hunter basically just following OP. He knows that he can't actually lane against the Ursa, so he's able to sap his experience and things like that. And the reason that this happened is because early on in the game, when the Alchemist is going to exit his lane, where he's going to end up is usually in either this spot on the map or this spot on the map. And to deal with that, what the Bounty Hunter does is just strolls through and puts an observer ward here or there, just to know always where Alchemist is. And then it gives him a lot more opportunity to actually get kills and then ultimately collect dollar signs and all that stuff. So we ended up seeing that quite a few times. Even this one that didn't end up with a kill on the Alchemist, Bounty scouts him out. Ursa moves over while he sets up the slow. And even though they didn't end up getting this kill, it was still really beneficial because Alch is at like a 2-level disadvantage at this point, which is hugely beneficial. And the other cool thing LGD didn't do here was go for that kill. They played it so safe. They knew they were dominating and they could still back off. So it was all of these culminations of the pressures that they could do against Alchemist that just made it almost impossible for him to get in the game.
LGD will be advancing 2-0 in a grand total of less than 1 hour for the entire series. And to talk a little bit about their victory, we got Victoria with Casey.
Thank you. Congratulations, Victoria. Josh is going to be helping us translate. So Josh, thank you. I want to take you back to game 1 because that was an intense game that, as we've all been saying, ended in less than 20 minutes. So what was the mood like in the pod during that game and how did that feel for you as a team?
就是首先第一局嘛，你们是20分钟以内使对手打出了机器，然后当时在里面的你们队伍的气氛，然后当时的场景，请你说一下。
就大家都比较放松，很开心，就想着开心游戏就行了。
Actually, we were all pretty carefree. We were pretty relaxed, so we were just thinking, you know, like let's have fun with the game, be happy.
Have you been feeling that way for the last several games? I mean, that was the 6th game in a row you've won on TI main stage. The only team that's beaten you is VP when they 2-0'd you in the upper bracket. So have you been carefree ever since, or what's changed since those first 2 games here on main stage for you?
那个这次 TI7 主赛事的话，你们是在被 VP 2-0之后，现在是连赢了6把，然后连赢6把，你们这个是怎么做到？就是是否一直都是这种开心的心态来面对？
是之前输 VP 的时候，就是后面讨论了，就是有太想过针对别人而导致自己那阵容拿的不是很好。之后输下来之后，大家也想过，只要想了自己，不用想的是怎么针对别人，自己打得舒服就行了，要开心。
So after we lost against VP, we as a team we discussed, we kind of decided, we realized basically that we were trying to counter the opponents too hard, so we decided let's not counter them, let's just play our own game, play what's fun for us and have fun.
It's obviously working for you. You're about to see Liquid again this afternoon. The last time you saw them was in group stage when you won them. Just wondering how you think you match up against them now that you're going to be facing them again.
那你们下一场的对手将是 Liquid， 然后 Liquid 也是你们小组赛对阵过的。然后就是请问你觉得你们下面对阵 Liquid 是个怎么样的情形？
不管结果怎么样，开心游戏就好。
Actually, no matter what we do, just as long as we have fun, it's good.
Having fun. Boy, there's a novel idea. I love it. You guys are clearly having fun and it's working for you. Congratulations, Victoria. And Josh, thank you. Really appreciate it. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Casey, and thank you, Victoria. Only focus on having fun.
Yeah, it's a good strat. I like it. You know, you go to TI, you act all serious because it's like a huge tournament and there's a lot on the line, but you can step back and you can just say, let's just have fun. And it seems to be working out for them.
Pick Magnus or have fun. LGD has been really crushing. And an interesting thing to note about their path through the brackets, both they and Team Liquid fell to lowers in the very first round of winners, and they have both won out to get to top 4. In fact, all the teams that are remaining right now, Team Liquid, LGD, and then winners Newbee and LFY, all began in the winners bracket. It's kind of interesting to see that consistency.
It happened in the previous 2 years as well. That was something that we pointed out early on in the group panels, that the groups matter, because consistently the teams that have, even if you fall out early, we saw DC do that last year where they fell to wings really early on in the bracket, but it doesn't make a difference because you have that cushion and you learn at the same time. So you can take a step back and say, okay, we're not as good as we thought we were. What are we going to do to change things up? Obviously, we did well in groups, so something was working. Let's try to reevaluate. We still have some games to play.
Now, in terms of the matchup of LGD going up against Team Liquid, what does Team Liquid need to do to beat LGD? I mean, LGD is going to have a huge confidence going into that match. Prevent them from having fun?
I mean, they can think Anti-Mage, I guess. But they need to slow down 11 and maybe. Because the difference between LGD and all the other teams is that they have they're 3 and 2 position just run at you. And they just keep running at you. And their Ricer is actually, their 1 position is actually one of the only super Ricers in this tournament. He buys he skips ultimate on Troll, he buys Mom, he just farms on Magnus. But because the other 2 guys, you know, they can play Magnus and stuff because they just run at you. Like these slow heroes, they work for them because the other players will just keep running at you while they're carry free farms.
Can you clarify a little bit about what just run at you means and how that contrasts with different styles?
Like for example, like nowadays a lot of high MMR mid players, like they play like invokers, you know, they slow down, they just want to get their farm movement, they want to carry the game. But maybe, you know, he doesn't care about that stuff. He's like 8k MMR, and when he plays like pubs, he has like 5 deaths. He doesn't care. He just keeps going. 11, just same thing. You know, they just keep running at you, and they keep trying to fight, and they keep trying to make space for the rest of their team. They don't really care too much about their farm. You know, if they have 1 item, or even if their item's not completed, they're just gonna, like they have an Ogre Axe instead of the BKB. They're already gonna be like, yo, I have Ogre Axe. I'm super strong, guys. I want to fight. And like, okay. And I'm not part of this. I'm gonna farm. Do you have Trollty? No, I don't. I'm not gonna help you guys in any way. You know, you guys go ahead. I'm just gonna AFK Rice, and that's their playstyle, and it works.
And do you think that is the increasingly dominant style that we're seeing here at TI? I mean, Arteezy, as a carry player, is this like a preference for you to just have the other 4 players bombing in to let you farm?
I mean, I would for sure enjoy like being AIM right now. He has like this.
You'd enjoy a 1v0.
He just farms Ancients, and then he farms the other Ancients, and then sometimes, you know, he'll just go solo Roche. They'll smoke with him, and he'll just solo Roche. You know, he has a pretty nice game to play, honestly, and he does it very well. So that's why they're so confident in him. So they know that if they make space for this guy, he'll carry the game. So they don't feel any pressure at all.
But they're matching up against Team Liquid that we've seen do both push-heavy lineups with, you know, Keeper of the Light and Troll, but also, as Merlini says, non-Dota, where they just pick Broodmother, they just pick Huskar. What do you expect to see out of the matchup between Team Liquid and LGD?
I think Liquid, for example, they really want the offlane to work. I think we were talking at the cafeteria, we were just saying Mind Control really needs to set the tone for this kind of matchup. I feel like he needs these heroes that'll delay the game, in contrast to what LGD does, like Envy pointed out. LGD, if they're going to run at you, Liquid, you need to divert them, misdirect at all times. So these heroes like Keeper of the Light that can shove out the waste for free, Nature's Prophet, Beastmaster, I think these are going to be huge for them.
I really think Mind Control should be playing one of those like Furion or Beasts against this team. I think he excels on it. He can direct the game in his own way, and I think that's what Liquid needs to be successful.
What about you, EE?
It's hard to talk about because I feel like it's gonna be so confusing, right? Because it's like this LGD team, they're willing to pick this Ursa mid. You know, they're gonna try to destroy you in the lane. Like maybe we'll play anything, but like so will Matoma Man / Miracle. You know, they're not afraid to run some Brewmaster mid or some Huskar mid, some untraditional lane destroyers, and they're just gonna both try to out mind game the enemy and try to slow down each other in the laning phase to the point where like everyone is just gonna be very confused, but like yeah, and they're just gonna try to do that. Like Liquid wants to like do that more though. Like LGD, I feel like if they're able to just play a solid game, that I feel like they will take the series.
Well, with that, we now know who the top 4 are. Team Liquid and LGD are in lowers. They will be facing each other later on today. The next match coming up will be Newbee versus LFY, and the players are at this point in time still getting ready to get set up. And with that, let's just take a brief break from matches and look behind the scenes with Slacks.
Hello? Whose dog is this? Hello? What is this? Production? Okay, let's go find your owner, buddy. Don't worry, we'll find your owner. Oh, look. This looks like it could be good. Hey, Sarah. Is this your dog?
No.
No? Okay. What are you doing here? What is this part of production?
No.
Hey, no? Is that really it? Okay, cool. This looks pretty sweet, though. I guess that's where they control all the screens at all times. All the cameras are right here at the control center. But that's not your mommy, is it? Oh, hello. What's up, man? Is this your dog?
No, it's not my dog.
Is this your dog?
No, I don't recognize the dog.
Okay, what do you guys do here? What is this part of production?
I am a font coordinator for this big guy right here.
What the heck does that mean? What do you do?
I run this Graphics Master 3000. It's the Lotus or Deltoid type pixel transformation unit.
Yeah, it definitely sounds made up. All right, thanks a lot. Oh, yo, Tort. Hey.
How's it going?
Is this your dog, bro?
Oh, I wish. He's so cute. Hello. Hey, little buddy.
Oh, okay. What are you doing over here?
I'm doing the newbie stream, newcomer stream. It's going great, yeah.
How does it work?
Oh, it's real simple. Basically, you know, you just use this UI. You can pretty much select your heroes and whatever ability skills that you want to show. For example, we have Juggernaut Healing Ward, so we look for that. And show Toast, and it goes out to thousands and thousands of newcomers.
Oh my God, that's great! This is perfect. Here, hold this. We can use the stream to find his mom.
No, what? No, what? No, what are you doing? No, 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 no. My newcomers, they're impressional.
The newcomers will love that. We'll find his mom real soon. Private message. Don't worry, little guy. I'm gonna find your family. If not, I'm just gonna eat you. No worries. Oh, hey, maybe this is it. Hey, excuse me, is this your dog?
Yes, that's my dog.
Oh, Crystal Maiden. Well, that makes so much sense. There you go. All yours. Whoa. You got him? Okay. Well, bye, Crystal Maiden. There you go. That's the joke.
Thank you, Slacks. That's brilliant. They wanted to do the behind-the-scenes look, but they knew that they needed a story. So they arbitrarily bought in a dog. That is quality creative direction.
It's a cute dog.
Slacks. Yeah. I met that dog. That dog is so cute. It is so excited about everything all the time.
Echo? Echo's the best.
Yeah, the dog's name is Echo. Isn't that awesome?
It is. It's the best part about that entire skit.
And Slacks came in a close second. Next time, Slacks. Now, at this point, it's a little funny. The first best of 3 was actually so quick that the next best of 3 in the winners, the players are still gathering together. So at this point, I want to talk a little bit about the meta that we've seen bake out from this event. And I want to talk about going into TI. You know, Arteezy, talk to me about what the expectations were on your part, like what heroes you thought were going to be big, what strategies you thought were going to be big.
I think generally like every TI is kind of a team fight focused. So, you know, when you head into TI, before TI you have like an idea, maybe split pushing is fine, maybe like this can work. But then when you actually get to TI, it seems like the way to play is always focusing on team fight, having the ability to fight them at the key objectives like Roshan. Like, that's what I feel like TI usually revolves around, like this big Roche fight, this big tier 2 fight, and you have to have the heroes to actually fight that. And the heroes that I thought would actually be pretty strong this TI were Mirana. I felt like that hero was very strong in like the mid position. He had wave clear, he has some sort of team fight ability in his ulti. Turns out maybe it's not as good as I thought. I think more like, I didn't really rate AA that high either before this tournament, but I'm starting to see the strength of it. If you combine it with like a Earthshaker or like any insta stun hero, if you have vision of them, you can insta kill somebody that normally you wouldn't be able to do. So I think just having these heroes that give you the ability to do something like that is what makes those heroes strong.
Because I know that, you know, EG as well as others, we're picking a lot of Lycan, we're picking a lot of Nature's Prophet. We're seeing those slowly come up less and less as time has gone on. I mean, do you think that that is representative of this shift in focus to team fights?
Well, I think pretty much, yeah. I think just like, you know, picking this sphere, and unless you're super confident in it, that's like where I think it lies. And I think if you're super confident as a team in this Sphereon hero, and you believe in your player that can play it, I think then you can actually make it work. But it's all about confidence and having the ability to believe in each other.
EE, what about you? What were some of the heroes that you were preparing for, expecting to be big at this tournament before coming in?
I mean, you're always going to expect the heroes that came in the previous tournament, which was the biggest previous tournament was MDO. And people are picking EHOME and stuff, so you always have to kind of think about those heroes. Like, regardless of whether they fall down or not, you're always going to have to deal with them because they're going to be around. But one hero we fought, which was very strong coming to this tournament, was Lich. However, we did not know that every other team played Lich. So we played Lich in some scrims against the Chinese, and we were owning them. And afterwards, we were like, all right, they're copying our Lich. But they're not copying our Lich. They already knew about Lich. We were actually behind in the Lich meta because we actually did not know how to draft Lich, like what heroes to draft of Lich. But they actually knew, and they just picked Lich Doom every freaking game, and they were winning every game, and we were losing every game of Lich.
I remember that Lich Wisp game in that scrim.
Yeah. And then eventually, you know, we were like, oh, you know what? They're not copying us. They actually just know. And then we just copied them back, and then we started winning. Like, we won like 2-3 games of Lich or something. As for the meta for the tournament, I feel like what's happening right now is people are just picking stunners. Like, they want these Svens, they want these Earth Spirits, they want these Shakers, they want these Sand Kings and Night Stalkers that can find vision and so you can jump. Because there's just too many freaking hills in this game. And you just gotta be able to...
Are you gonna be the first person to not complain about hero balance, but the number of hills?
There's a lot of hills. Like, they're everywhere. Like, you're so scared. Like, running up the hill, you know? Like, just 2 inches above you is a hill, and you're like, oh my god. And when you see someone up the hill, when your smoke breaks, you know, they're on the hill, you actually have to just jump in and, like, go. Like, go. And that's why these offus and stuff, they're scary, because they're going to be quick, and they're going to jump you. These, like, high skilled, like, 4 positions, you know, 3 positions that they just keep jumping you. And that's why these, like, resolution, you know, like, people thought, like, his Anti-Mage and Morphling were good, and they are good, but they never win those games. They win games when he's Void, when he's Sven, when he's like CK, when he's actually stunning you, and he just jumps in and goes. And like that's why like Empire did so well, because they just had AA Shakers, Voids, Svens, and they just jump you. And you have like Wyvern, Night Stalker, you know, you can't jump anyone. It's hard. You have Furion, it's hard. You have Mirana, has a land arrow. It's hard. Everything's so hard. But there's Russians, you know, they're gonna run at you, they're gonna see you, they're gonna go, and it's hard.
Yeah, I'm real interested to see more Sven at this event. I mean, Sven has been huge the entire time. I mean, the instant stuns, the instant jumps, we saw Resolution perform extremely well.
I mean, the big thing, too, is this is just a good teamfight hero. Every time Rezo plays it, he says, I feel so comfortable. I was like, how did it feel in that game against EG? He's like, I felt like I was invincible. There wasn't a whole lot that could counter me. They maybe thought that Wyvern was a good counter to Sven, but he didn't feel that way at all. He's just like, I have a Linken's, I'm going to be okay. You have so many different tools to fight, and he kind of mirrored what Artur said in the sense that he notices every year that at TI, you have to fight. You have to have these heroes that are willing to fight. You can't always go for the split push, because at the end of the day, TI is about the nitty-gritty. That's why we're seeing so many of these different close games where it's usually 60-minute games, and it's really back and forth, with the exception, of course, of the previous series. So you need these heroes that are going to be able to push things your way just even a little bit, and like Envy said as well, those are usually going to be heroes that just provide you a stun.
Yeah, like you want to be able to see somebody on a ward, and you want to be able to jump that guy and kill him instantly. And that's probably why some of these heroes like Sven and Earthshaker are like really strong right now.
I mean, if you think about game 2 against you guys, every single time you're under ward, Rezo just jumps forward with Sven, stuns your Wyvern, he has no game, he dies in 3 shots. Then the fight is incredibly chaotic, because at that point it becomes a numbers game, and you're scared at TI. Like the way that you're going to play is a little bit more nervous. As soon as you lose a member, the team fight shifts. You're not objective about it anymore. It just becomes really chaotic. That's why we often see one team fight to evolve into like a 4-man wipe. If you remember that Newbee game that you guys played where you had the Enigma, that time at the top bounty rune, they had plenty of time to get out. They could have just ditched their Shadow Shaman, ran, but they don't think about it that way. They're like, guys, we can't abandon him. We have to fight. And then they get into a sloppy fight where they got wiped this 4 or something like that.
Yeah, I think I remember Quap lived in Aegis.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, I guess what they thought at the time is they saw me mid. I was on Lycan and they saw me mid, so they felt comfortable helping this Rost out. But it set up a very good black hole and they just died.
What about some of the big underperformers? I mean, over time, as you said, it's slowly emerged that there's a big team fight focus. We see Earthshakers, AAs, Faceless Void, Svens coming in a lot. Winter Wyvern is a hero that has been picked quite a lot and has one of the lowest win rates in the entire pool. I think it's 1 in 18. Hit me with it. Okay, no, absolutely not. We are not even going to talk about Winter Wyvern. The hero doesn't exist anymore. And with that, we will now sharply transition away to an annual festival that we enjoy oh so much. It's the TI7 cosplay competition.
Yes, Sean, I know you like to dress up behind closed doors, but these people, they do it in front of hundreds of thousands. The guys at home and those in the arena are getting ready. And in fact, it does sound like we're ready to kick this one off. We've got some fantastic submissions dressed up as their favorite heroes. And it is my great pleasure to introduce them to you. So guys, let's give them some warm welcomes as I do introduce each individual competitor. The first we're going to be meeting is a man with just 3 letters in his name. It's none other than John, and he's rocking Faceless Void. Beautiful. All the way from Baltimore, Polly Dota as Dro Ranger. A Texas Ranger. Shrimp, Death Prophet. Oh. All the way from Chile. One more. Make some noise. Could be a pianist with those fingers. Angelic Potato cosplay coming in as Phantom Assassin. She's blue, Abba-dee, Abba-da. EG's favorite, Wicked cosplay as Winter Wyvern. From Canada. Abby Cat cosplay, Wind Ranger. NWS, Night Stalker. Look at those wings. It's like TI6. Jillian as Lena. Ellie from Romania as Clockwerk. Wow. Sonya the Evil, Invoker. Romance Mental, Templar Assassin from San Jose. Up next, Paul as Axe. Discordia, Drow Ranger. From Seattle. We thought we got rid of them. They're still here. John as Techies. And finally, Tina Lyra, Oracle. Some fantastic submissions, but we do need a winner. In fact, we've got a top 3. So when I do say your name, please do join us in the center by that X so we can go ahead and have one last look at that fantastic cosplay. So in third place, we have... Can we get like an oh from the crowd? An oh, does that happen? Can we do that? Oh, in third place. Oh, you're good at that. Romance Mental, Templar Assassin. Join us in the center. Take a bow. Congratulations. And joining Romance Mental, very post-hardcore name, I like it. In second place, can we get the oh again? I really like that. Oh, in second place, Axe. Congratulations, Paul. And that means we need a winner. Guys, let's get the best one yet. Let's get a real build-up. Here we go. And the winner of TI7 cosplay is Ellie as Clockwerk. Congratulations. You get a roar from the crowd and $4,000. One more time, guys. Let's give it up for your cosplayers this year. Every single one of them putting in a whole lot of hard work and dedication. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. We love it. And I don't know how, but you've got to try and get yourselves off stage. Good luck. Guys, one more time. Make some noise. What are you saying?
Thank you, Machine. Incredible work. I love that Clockwerk. I don't know how you even see out of that. That's always one of the most amazing things about those costumes. Like, where are the eye holes?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. Every time I see those kinds of things, like a full body thing, I actually have no idea how they see.
Yeah, like I mean, the artwork and the artistry is beautiful. But like, how does anyone see anything and not like trip over stairs and stuff? That's amazing. Now, EE, if you were cosplaying, who would you want to go as?
What?
Or I should say, if you lost a bet and someone made you cosplay someone,
I
who
want
would
the
they
anime
choose?
character.
Who's the anime character?
Oh, Lelouch probably. It's not Dota related in any way, That's what I would do.
Awesome. Blitz, I want to ask the same question to you, man. Who would you go if you were cosplaying?
I'd probably do Storm, just for the throwback.
Haven't you done that already?
No, what are you talking about?
I feel like I can picture you in like with the hat.
I've never done that before in my entire life.
Okay.
Well, the next match is getting set up. It is LFY Newbee. Let's talk about that one a little bit. So, Envy, you were talking just before, came back to us that LFY does kind of have that same run-at-you style that is so disruptive to the enemy team. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, originally I was talking about LGD, not LGD.FY, but they're actually very similar. Like, Super is also like that. Their mid player. Like, generally, offlaners are always like that, kind of. Like, most of them are like that. But the mid players are, some are slower than others. Like, some will carry you harder than others, and some will, like, they don't want that. They want someone else to finish the game, but they will make the game easy for you to play.
Yeah.
And Super is like definitely one of those players that will play some Pugno or something, and he's just gonna go. He's just gonna fight. He's just gonna be some Dragon Knight. He's gonna be some Puck. He's gonna keep stunning. He's gonna keep fighting. He's gonna keep like trying to do damage.
Yeah, it seems like Super's always like been an objective mid player. I remember he played DP a lot. He played DK a lot. He played Pugno a lot. Like his focus as a mid player is generally gonna be like, how can I push this building, or how can I secure this area for my team? How can I get this top tower, and then we get ward up, and we do Roche and stuff like that. He's very objective-based thinking.
I mean, I think the big thing about Super is, in this era, we have so many superstars in the mid lane. We have these Fadas, we have these mid ones. We've got these Abeds that are just 10k. They're just doing so well on solo queue. You see them translate to that skill onto the battlefield. But when it comes to a guy like Super, he's just like the neutralizer. He doesn't have to do anything flashy. He's going to play like the same 4 heroes at TI. You know it's coming. It doesn't surprise you when they pick Dragon Knight. Nobody else is going to pick it but them. It's just coming. You're like, okay, guys, they just second pick their mid hero. Who does that? Nobody else does that, but they don't really care because they realize this guy, he's going to be solid on everything. It doesn't really matter.
He's had a lot of rough matchups too. Like they picked this DK without seeing their mid hero.
Yeah,
right?
they don't
pick
care.
it. They pick it into like he gets Bloodseeker and he has like 8 CS at like 5 minutes. He's having a rough game, but then at the end of the day, they win the game.
Yeah, he's got a stun. He gets carried. It's all good.
Well, as LFY and Newbee are getting set up right now, before we head into that match, let's just take one more look at some of the amazing cosplay that was here with Slacks.
Wyvern, get in here. Sure you know what this is about? We all saw those games. It's time to buff you. You need a little bit of help, Wyvern.
That's not my fault. That's the draft.
Sven, what are you doing out there? You're winning all your games.
It has been okay.
It's not okay, buddy. You know I have to nerf you now, right?
No one defies Sven!
You want to end up like racing? You want to never get picked again? Lion, hey, great to see you, buddy. You're not picked too often, you're not banned too often, and keeping your head down. That's what I like to see. Keep that up, all right?
I've been buffed and nerfed and buffed and nerfed and nerfed again.
Okay, yeah, great. Hell and back jokes. That's, you know, whatever. I don't care. You're doing it, buddy. Stay on track.
Mr. Frog, I've just been getting more powerful and powerful every patch, and I'm going to be picked even more and more.
Slow down, slow down. You're situational, Oracle, okay? You stay situational. That's where I want you. Don't get crazy on me, all right?
Are you for real?
Yes, I'm for real.
I have seen this every single time, every different world.
You're situational, Oracle. Oracle.
This was the best one.
Situational. Do not go over that. And don't buy the Agnum Scepter anymore. That was a joke.
This is a false promise.
You're a false promise. Get out of my office. Situational picks every time. Hey, what is this? You know how I feel about you. You get out of here. Not gonna happen, techies. Not captain's mode. Never. Not gonna happen. You know how this works, techies. Not gonna happen. Not in my game.
You know, I'm really curious. Dota has the history of having buffs and nerfs. All the heroes wind up getting shaped with every single patch. How does a team adapt to that? Is it every time there's a new patch, you like stop and brew? Is it like really disruptive? Is it exciting?
I don't know why you're looking at me. I played on Zephyr. Like,
I would say it's pretty exciting. You know, after a big TI like this, it's just like you want something new. You want to be like rejuvenated in some manner, and
yeah,
you see a new patch come out, you get all excited. You know, you see some of your heroes getting buffed. You're like, it's time, man. And then you play them, but you know, it's not always how it seems. You know, if a hero gets buffed, you can't ignore like the flaws of the hero itself. So that's why sometimes it turns out like the hero you thought would be good is actually not good. So that's just how I look at patches.
Do you hear about the Chinese meme?
No.
There's a EG meme where you guys will always win any tournament right after a patch.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate actually.
That's all.
And I mean, who's getting nerfed here? Who's just looking way strong? Who's looking way weak? Oh, Nyx?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's strong or weak, but he just get out, get out my game. Like.
Yeah, I'm at a +1 to that. Honestly, I hate that hero. I really hate it.
Stormtrooper here, same thing.
Hey, do you want to hear a joke? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Nyx.
Nyx who?
Nyx.
Oh.
Okay.
There it is. Now, if anyone plays Nyx, that's hilarious. And if you don't, then, I don't know, maybe my career ends today.
Nobody enjoys playing that hero.
I love playing Nyx. He's amazing. He's so fun.
Nah, it just ruins lives. That's
Brown Boots Dagon, pub server, man.
No way.
Well, LFY and Newbee are finally ready. They're getting set up. They are in the booths. It's time to send them out. This is the winner's bracket final. Whoever achieves victory here will be in the grand finals of TI7. Let's bring out Newbee. The Newbee banner has won TI before, but only Faith on their team. It's the only player remaining who has the possibility of winning 2 different TIs. Their opponents are currently the winningest team in all of TI7. It's LGD Forever Young. Many say that after they achieved 13-0 in their groups, they relaxed and experimented a little bit, resulting in a few losses right at the end of the group stage, but if they had been playing to their full potential, they may be the only undefeated team.
Yeah, and that'd be so scary to play against that, just because you know what are you supposed to do against these guys. I looked at their Dota buff stats, just to check their heroes is like 100% win rate, 100% win rate, 100% win rate, 100% win rate.
It's pretty scary,
It's
man.
like, but who's their worst 100% win rate hero?
That's what you got to debate right now.
Pudge, I think.
Pudge?
Well, actually, they're like 0-1 with Pudge, right?
Yeah, they messed up that game.
Yeah, okay.
DC really got them good.
DC gods.
DC got them.
I mean, they are just slaughtering everything. In fact, no non-Chinese team has yet defeated a Chinese team, with one exception at this point, which is actually Digital Chaos knocking down IGV. Go
Decent
DC,
God.
DC. Oh, bruh.
Come on, guys.
Legitimate victory.
Yeah.
A win's a win.
Now, in terms of the styles of play that we've been seeing out of LFY, seeing out of Newbee, what are going to be the big highlights for you that you're currently like looking out for?
I'm just interested to see how like the support duos for both teams, how they do in the early game, because I think both these teams have very active support duos. They always want to make moves at nighttime. They want to make moves and smoke them in and snowball their mid players. So I'm interested to see how it collides and how, you know, they're both going to, like, I imagine there's going to be like 6 heroes mid, like at 5 minutes at some point. I just want to see like what's going to happen now. Who's going to win? Is Super's DK going to prevail there? Like, I don't know.
I think for me, DDC so far, and this is going to sound weird to say because he's just such an underrated player, but I think he's just been the consistent overall best player at the 5 position this TI. You never really think about him, but I think I casted like 3 games in a row where he just never died. He had 0 deaths total. He's playing these heroes that just get jumped on and get killed, but he's so far in the back line. He's always there with the Graves. It doesn't seem to matter. We just never talk about him because he doesn't really put himself out in the public eye. He's just this guy who shows up to every single TI. He does really well. You don't really think about him because he doesn't make any waves. He's not going to be playing these flashy heroes. He just plays this one-note hero where he just chills in the back. All he has to do is save people. He's good at that.
I mean, you were talking about Super kind of having the same characteristic, that he's not the flashy, he doesn't do the big plays or the huge clutch things. He just sort of solidly grinds his way to make a little progress throughout the game.
It's so hard to make flashy plays when your hero's first pick, though. It's actually just so hard because your hero just gets countered by everything. You're the sacrificial lamb, you know, when you get first pick. And then they're playing position 5. Not only you're countered, but you're also the lowest farm. It's going to be hard to make those plays.
Now, normally when we ask this question, it's very easy for people to say, I don't know, it could be either one, but I really want you to answer sincerely. Who's going to win and why between LFY and Newbee? Who actually has the edge in this matchup?
I mean, it should be LFY, right? Because they beat Newbee in the group stage, 2-0, I believe. So, and they beat them at MDL as well. So at this point, you know, Newbee's actually looking for revenge here. That's actually what they need to keep them like. We need revenge here. We need to beat them.
I mean, what is it that Newbee is reputed as being one of the strongest teams in China ever, but always fails miserably whenever they leave and play in tournaments outside of China?
Yeah, this is the first time outside of China or most lines that they've just done so well at.
Yeah.
There was last year at TI, I think they got 12th. At the major, they got knocked out by Finem. Before that as well, they got knocked out by Liquid in Kiev. So every single time you were just like, man, this Newbee squad going into it looks really good, and they just disappoint you time and time again.
What are they doing differently in this event?
I talked to KP just yesterday, and I was like, what's going on? You guys last year, you look so underwhelming. This year, it feels like you're just playing with a lot more intensity and focus. He's like, yeah, I think we needed that year to get under our belts, get a little bit more confident with each other. And I feel like he, especially KP, benefited for that time with them just because he was getting more used to the environment of being around them. They're one of the few teams that don't have a coach or anything like that, so they need more time to gel together. So they pretty much just live together 24/7. So I think that's benefited them a lot.
And I'm curious, I've asked other panelists this question, but I want to get your take. Whenever you wind up with new players on teams or your new team environment, each player kind of has their own individual, proclivities and inclinations when they're in the game. How do you wind up merging those together into a cohesive team? Like, what are frictions that you've seen and frictions that you've overcome in your experience?
Usually when you have a new player, like you chose him to come to your team or something, you invite him and you kind of understand his strengths as a player and you kind of can see it working out where like this guy comes in the team, he's a very objective based player, he'll make these calls and that's what we need, for example. So typically, I think you have a pretty like good understanding of your team itself, and then you just brings in someone that you think can actually help you in the areas where you feel like you lack. So then everybody like compensates for each other in what they lack and like all that kind of stuff, and then just how I look at it as a team.
I mean, are there instances where you've seen that friction come up where, you know, you see someone else join a different team and you just see the styles not gelling?
I mean, yeah, I experienced it, and
is this okay?
I've seen it. You know, I've experienced it. I've seen it. You know, sometimes you think like it would work together, and like you think, you know, from the past, you know, MLG Columbus, it works out, but sometimes, you know, it just doesn't. That's just how life is.
You guys,
Awesome.
that wasn't the worst run. You guys got some.
That was the worst run.
Did you guys
of my life?
It wasn't great. It wasn't great.
Awesome. Now, guys, we've talked about some of the notable heroes on Super. What about in his mid matchup? How does he struggle? What are the matchups that you anticipate on the flip side?
Well, I can tell you that Newbee generally likes last picking their mid hero. On second pick, they enjoy SCC having a really good matchup mid, and they think he can carry the game. So I think if DK or Pugna comes out, you might see a sniper, you might see an Ursa, you might see a Bloodseeker. Whatever Super's playing, you can probably assume it's going to be hard countered. So that's why I think it's going to be interesting with the supports and how they're going to enable each other.
Yeah. How central is SCCC to the success? And because I feel like a theme in this tournament has been the mids not really being these huge carries that are like, you know, 20% net worth ahead of anyone else in the game.
Have you ever watched in the drafting phase how he reacts? He's constantly making hand gestures. He's constantly talking. He's actually talking so loud. You can see the intensity. I think he's actually a very important player for our team. He not only does he's like this high superstar pub player. He also he carries them, and he also talks quite a lot in the games and in the draft. So he's actually just a highly participant. Like he came from like an army or something, and I'm not sure. Like he just gets there's like these drills in his head. He's just so active, and everything he does, he has so much intensity. He seems so like powerful a person. I think he's very important.
He's a boss.
I mean, especially with the amount of roaming that we've seen invade the mid lane, SCCC is going to need all the confidence he can get in order to win in this match. And with that, we have now heard that the players are in the lobby. The game has started. It is the winners bracket final to determine who will be the first finalist of TI7 between Newbee and LFY.
Newbee versus LFY. Game 1.
I love that Earthshaker is the voice of every Versus matchup played. That's so great.
Wait, is it?
Yeah.
You didn't recognize
You didn't watch the All-Star match last night?
No, I didn't.
You did. You were on
I kind of left early, though. I didn't really like pay attention.
That was where he was in the very beginning.
Well, you learn something new every day, right?
That's Earthshaker right there.
Goddamn.
Unbelievable. Now the draft is getting started.
Oh, this draft, like they're both Chinese. They both come from the same region. They both scrim a lot. So the nice thing about this matchup is that they will contest each other's heroes, like the Earth Spirits, the Lich, the Night Stalker. Whereas in some other matchups, people were just too scared of LFY's heroes. For example, like they banned the Lich, they banned Night Stalker, and LFY just first picks Earth Spirit 2 games in a row, and it was kind of easy for them. Whereas now, like these 100% win rate heroes that LGD.FY have, they might be contested for.
Yeah, I think one of the more heavily contested heroes here is just going to be Puck. Both teams have a lot of success with it. Night Stalker as well, LFY.
Oh boy, Night Stalker.
They haven't lost with it yet.
Oh, Lich is not picked or banned.
Whoa, Bloodseeker.
Yep.
Were they anticipating this like in Night Stalker, or were they just picking Bloodseeker?
I'm not sure. This might be something that helps them win, or it might actually be a burden, because what ended up happening in the last series was they lost to Bloodseeker, the VP, and then they beat them with Bloodseeker in 20 minutes or something. And now they're like, oh, Bloodseeker is the shit, guys. And you know what happens when you think that way. Sometimes it can be a disaster.
So the Lich is coming out. Night Stalker Lich. Have they ever done Night Stalker offlane? That's my question. Do you remember?
I don't think they've done that for a long, long time.
Yeah, so they picked their 2 supports there. Nobody has like an insta stun, so maybe they look forward to that. pick something that enables it.
I think I really like the fact that instead of opening with their mid hero this time, they're adapting a little bit to Newbee just because they know that SCC is just going to have such an advantageous lane. So they're waiting to pick that. And it's actually Newbee that leads with the core first, which is pretty rare.
And they can play it in 2 roles too.
Yeah, exactly. So that is a pretty open core itself.
Yeah, Bloodseeker has been very successful on the main stage. Just dominates in the lane with his ability to heal every time he kills.
I actually like this Lich pick because I think it gives them the ability to adapt to whatever lane they feel is pressured.
Yeah. If you think about the 5 position heroes too that can zone out or just win you the dual lane situations, I don't think there's a lot. I feel like Lich is one of the few that just straight up win, right? Because in a 2v2 situation, who really beats it? Oftentimes when you're a hero like Dazzle, you just sit there, you pull, you don't really have a lot of lane pressure.
Yeah, I think it depends on the lane that you're setting this Lich to, because there's a lot of instances where if you send this Lich to the off lane and you don't block their camps, they're just going to slowly gain an advantage over Lich. And in that position, I don't feel Lich is comfortable in. You want to be able to actually like starve them out, and you want to spam sentries on Lich. You want to keep blocking their hard camps so they can't get XP. And then you want to like starve them out and then gain like an advantage in the economy.
Yeah, I mean, especially both of you guys as safe lane players, this has got to be a pretty annoying hero. You walk into it, you see a dual off lane, just like, I don't know.
I permaban that hero for a reason.
Honestly, I actually don't mind playing versus Lich, because I know, I might not die. Like, I feel pretty safe playing against, like, let's say I'm playing Lich and Legion. I know I probably won't die. Like, I'm just going to chill, I might just, take a lot of harass. I'm going to get my range grips tonight, but I don't feel that bad, Being aggroed feels bad, because you might die.
I feel like they should put that Lich against the Bloodseeker, so that Bloodseeker doesn't get that lane domination, one of the lanes.
So at this point, we see the Doom ban out of Newbee. And I actually just wanted to come all the way back to the very first ban of Death Prophet, which I've seen a number of teams first ban Death Prophet. Is this just to try to shut down any sort of guaranteed early pushing?
It's just some teams, right? Like IG and Newbee. No, IG and LGD.FY are famous for this hero. They'll first 2 this hero, whereas the other teams, they don't really play it. So they're not going to ban against them. I feel like it's kind of just, I'm not sure how important this ban is. I feel like they might just ban it because they don't want to first 2 it and the enemy can first 2 it, so might as well. And we all play all the other heroes anyway, so just leave them in the pool. And we'll leave this Lich in this pool that people wouldn't leave before. Leave this Night Stalker or Earthspear in the pool that people would try to ban out before.
As far
as everything in the pool.
Yeah, the set of bans is very, very different.
Like they ban Veno, because they don't want to first 2 Veno, but the enemy might. And maybe it's not that OP a hero, but like who cares? Like just get rid of it. Get rid of this DP. The enemy's gonna play it. We won't play it. Whatever.
So we see the Doom also banned by Newbee, followed up by Tidehunter for LGD.
That was something you mentioned, right, earlier on, that they'll do this Lich Doom against you. So you just want to get rid of that pretty quickly.
Dazzle.
Alright. Yeah, they have to pick a 5 there, or else LGD.FY is going to have the core matchup counters 1 by 1, 1 by 1.
Yep.
But now they don't know where this Bloodseeker is going. Is he safe lane? Is he mid lane?
I think they're going to pick KPI 0 after that too, so also...
Yeah. But now, like, LGD.FY, they have to make a choice though. They're going to have to pick a core here.
5 seconds remaining.
Like,
I wonder if they can pick some sort of open core here.
They don't do that style though. They don't do like what you do or like what we might do. Like pick some Sand King or something. You don't know where he's going or whatever.
When you see this Night Stalker and Lich, that's what you asked earlier, right?
Nope.
Well, like, this is kind of okay, right? You can be this Weaver can be with Lich, can be with like a lone bottom against anybody. So it's kind of in a way masking it, but not really.
Are you a fan of Weaver right now?
Am I a fan of Weaver? I think against certain matchups, like in lane, like bad. Yeah, I think Weaver, if he has like a purpose where he's able to solo in a lane and win the lane and enable the supports to make moves on the map, then I think he's a very strong hero because he's very annoying to deal with. If you don't have the right heroes, he like actually gives so much space to like your team.
What are some of those heroes that Weaver would be worried about?
Well, I think Earthspear is generally pretty decent versus Weaver. If Weaver ever gets a Linkens, he still ignores it. He has a stun and a silence. Maybe Weaver is actually pretty decent versus Bloodseeker since you can actually never rupture him.
It could be the other way around as well, right? So I actually feel a little weirded out about this Weaver pick because they don't have any stuns now either, and like it's actually gonna make their draft a little more claustrophobic, I guess. I'm not sure how to call it. Like they're limited.
Yeah.
Dax is a very good pick against Weaver.
So they have actually, I think their heroes are actually pretty good against Weaver. If I'm looking at it straight up, I think this is definitely a draft that if I was playing Weaver, I'd be a bit worried. And
feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Yeah, you know,
when he's doing it for his team.
I want to echo the thing you were saying earlier. I mean, PPD has brought this up a lot, that the teams that have been very low on stuns have really struggled. The teams that have been low on initiators have really struggled. And if there's just not that many good ones left in the draft, I mean, Tidehunter's gone, Nyx is gone.
Bat Rider's gone. That's the most important one for this and Puck. Because they both would have been very nice here. I wish I can see the hero list. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I can use the power of this laptop to get you that hero list.
Yeah, sounds good.
So what do you think for LFI? They still need 2 cores. I think they lack team fight. I feel like they need a stunner pretty badly right now.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's a good pick, but like...
Yeah, this is team fight.
They need... I mean, they have Night Stalker, so they... Even if they only have 1 jump, that's enough, honestly, because they will generally have the better vision, so they will be able to get the jump. And they have this Deucer who's going to give vision just by running in. And
they really need a jump, though.
Yeah, they'll probably get one, right? There's going to be enough. Like some Legion or something, who knows, like, whatever.
Do you really fear Newbee's late game, too, though? Like, if Newbee plays a split push game and you have these kinds of heroes on LFY, are you even that worried?
Late game? No, you're not worried at all. When you pick this Lich, you're generally going to go for his late game style, because the hero just like armors a tower, and you just stand behind a tower with your own ice armor, and they can't push.
That's what I mean. I think a lot of times if I saw LFY's lineup, I'd be a little bit confused just because they can't really start a fight or anything like that, but they can counter the fight really well. There's not enough burst damage. Like, you're going to rupture this Medusa. It's not really going to do too much. Even if you blink call somebody, Medusa just counter initiates with Stone Gaze. None of these 2 supports are too bursty. They're more long-term DPS over the course of a fight. And I think LFI actually matches up okay here.
There should be enough stuns left, though. Like, there should be a hero here. I can only think of Legion right now. I'm not sure if that's a pick, though. It doesn't.
They banned Void, so they're also thinking that LFI needs one of those jump heroes. They need somebody to abuse vision for them.
They still have Earthshaker in the pool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Last pick Earthshaker?
Yeah.
Does that complete their lineup?
That'll be fine. They don't have any dagger farmers right now. Yeah. Like
it's good against Axe too. If Axe jumps, you just stun him. Run away.
It's nice to have a dagger hero. Their lineup's not that greedy either. They can get away with a dagger farmer.
Yeah. Every captain I've ever worked with just says you always need a way to start a fight.
Yeah.
Regardless of how well the game goes, if you can't start a fight, then
you just need to be able to, like, when you put a ward down and you see them, they want to deward that ward, right? Yeah. And you want to be able to actually go on that person confidently and you'll kill him. Or else, if you don't have a way of actually initiating like clearly, then it becomes very hard to play. Like, the enemy feels like they can move around and take like control of the map.
You could do something like Legion though as well, like Envy said.
They banned it.
I think they should shake her. I wouldn't recommend Legion against Dazzle Axe.
It's a bold pick, but they banned Anti-Mage, which kind of means like
Legion's better. Like you can't remove the call from Axe.
So what do you do? What do you have, like DS, Shaker?
Shaker. He's just there. He's just chilling.
There you go. The last pick Shaker.
Now, what about Newbee? When you look at this lineup, what can they do well right now, and what do they need?
So Newbee needs to make a decision of, they need to put this Bloodseeker mid. Probably not going to do that, so they're probably going to think of last pick hero for SEC.
They need to win this game in 25 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm thinking he's going to pick Sniper here.
So they need just an extremely strong mid laner to fare against the Medusa to set themselves up for a quick push.
The way that Newbee plays is they want SEC's hero to have a kill potential on the enemy mid. Like, if Kaka rolls in on his Earth Spirit and Faith comes in with Dazzle and they all like converge on this middle lane, they want SEC's hero to be able to actually assist in that and kill and help kill quickly.
Sniper is a very good pick.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, sure, he's against a Night Stalker, but who cares, honestly? Like, they don't have other heroes that can come and hit him.
I mean, you can protect him too with Dazzle.
There we go. Sniper.
Yep.
Strong reads.
Wow.
I mean,
comments.
I think SEC sees this like Deuce a matchup, and he's like, yeah, give me Sniper because he won't do anything to me.
Well, seen Sniper do well before, and will it be able to succeed again? Newbee versus LFY, Game 1 of the Winners Bracket Finals begins now.
Thank you very much, and indeed, Winners Bracket Finals. I'm ODPixel, I'm here with Fogged. We've got the beautiful LFY against the incredible Newbee. We're seeing the lineups. The crowd here today is looking absolutely phenomenal. The arena is absolutely packed.
It is jam-packed, all the way to the top.
We're going to get some incredible dice here. There's no doubt about it. These final picks right up until them. SCCC, we saw him debut with the sniper on the main stage. He's looking to do it again. And that last pick, as mentioned by Envy, he knew it was going to come out.
Yep.
Artfu grabbing the shape. It's a confident end to LFY's draft.
Yeah, so they are going to be running offlane Night Stalker then. So that is a change-up. They have not ran that here. I was looking at it before. I don't believe that at any stages. Maybe one of the group stage games, didn't get to scroll through all of them, but big change up there, getting that Earthshaker last pick. LFY has a very late game center lineup, while Newbee looked to favor more for the laning aspect. But like the panel said, Newbee is on a bit of a timer here, unless SCCC is just able to get incredibly farmed in that mid lane, which could happen. I mean, he's versus Dude, so he doesn't really care too much versus that hero.
I mean, so overall, do you have a draft that you prefer out of the two of them?
Oh, yeah, LFY. LFY's looks pretty damn good. They have the ways to delay the game with the Lich Armor for the Dusa. Dusa kind of just stands your ground. You get ideally versus with a Bloodseeker, you want to pick it versus like something right away you see Lycan, something that you counter. But now they have a Medusa. Your Eruption just stands there, just like come at me. So it can be a bit tough right now for Newbee, but we'll see if they're able to get away with the lanes and snowball off that.
And let's see what sort of lanes we do get out of it at the start. See if we see anything sort of switch up. Maybe even as we've seen time and time again, DDC and Inflame grouping up together to run some sort of a dual lane aggressively. There we go, the Chinese memes coming out there with the good luck boss, directed of course straight to young Inflame.
A lot of respect for each other, these two teams. I was chatting with Jack about it just before the game started, and he was like, yeah, these two, I've played each other so many times. Newbee has an immense amount of respect for LFY, as vice versa as well.
Yeah, and I think as the panel was saying, well, overall, as the record, normally LFY, the ones to come out on top over these two. So a massive series, of course, for both of them, looking for that direct, moving forward towards the grand finals here at the International 2017.
So the couple last, I think yesterday and even the day before that, I saw a lot of this Earth Spirit Bloodseeker duo. These two can actually cause so much ruckus in the laning phase. We saw that incredible performance by Baboka when he was playing that. If he can identify when the lanes start moving, he has to just see where the Earthshaker's going and try to punish those weak lanes as the Earth Spirit. But the thing is that he doesn't really have the best kills, like kill lanes, right? You look at the heroes, he has the only one that he can really go on is with the sniper. The other lanes are just not really the greatest to make the rotations until they get more levels on. So he needs to time his rotations once the Axe gets like the call up, once the Dazzle has a couple levels too. He needs to be a bit patient on the Earth Spirit this game.
And it'll be interesting to see how much attention LFY put towards that mid lane to try and give Super that start against the SCCC sniper, because in this matchup, 1v1, it can become a bit of an issue for the Medusa in the early levels, can't it?
Yeah, a little bit. The sniper just doesn't really care. You're never going to really get hit by Snake unless you're out of position. But it's LFY. It's with Super. They're just like, Super, good luck. You got your matchup. Have fun.
Yeah, an incredibly solid mid laner.
We'll come there once or twice, but other than that, you're going to be left alone in this game. So we look at the wards coming out from both teams. This is one of the big things that a lot of these Chinese teams have been doing, how much they emphasize on an early warding game. Pulls blocked all over the place. Double pull block as well.
Look at this up top already, making a bit of a go onto DDC. They have the roll connection and the battle hunger. Not enough to get the kill.
Yeah, they swapped the lanes up actually. They put in the Bloodseeker versus the Weaver matchup, and they want the Bloodseeker to pretty much be avoiding this Night Stalker Lich duo so he can get farm. KP can get farm anyway as an Axe there, but there's actually no pulls available for him to be able to, you know, get more levels on the Earth Spirit and the Axe. So they're going to suffer a lot versus that Lich Night Stalker.
So overall, out of all the lanes, you think that's going to be the most one-sided affair until the movements come through?
Yeah, top lane. They're just going to pull it back over and over again with this Night Stalker Lich, and they should be able to punish quite heavily versus Axe Earth Spirit. Dual melee versus Night Stalker, one of the strongest melees, and with Lich backup.
Yeah, Inflame there just going in, giving Kaka a right bit of harassment, and very little that KP can do to pull him off at this stage, just with the level 1. At that one point in battle hunger.
Kaka is now going to be able to find that D ward, so they will have a pull open in the next 30 seconds or so. Super important in this lane. They cannot get the lane back into their favor whatsoever versus this Lich Night Stalker if they don't have those pulls up.
Yeah, other lanes, I mean, bottom lane, Monet certainly struggling with the superior CSing potential of this Bloodseeker, as we can see 8 for 2 on Mugi compared to just the 3 on Monet. Mugi starting to push the wave in, and with the backup of Faith, I mean, this lane as well, for Newbee down here, this Bloodseeker is going to feel incredibly safe and confident.
Yeah, pretty similar kind of situation as top. It's just now the Weaver will always get a bit more because the lane is going to be pushing into him all the time from that Dazzle heal that does come out. And they only, it's like Shaker Weaver. They can isolate once they get a Fissure block if the Dazzle's out of position, but they need a couple levels on that Weaver first for the Swarm to add up with the Geminate.
Looking towards the mid lane for the time being, it's been incredibly even. Kaka to come in with the roll, trying to see if they can at least harass Super out. This would be nice for SCCC, see if he can now break himself ahead a bit. On the CS so far, 8 for 10 on the Sniper, 8 for 7. An incredibly even mid lane matchup in terms of not just heroes, but of course skill as well between these two
that one's massive trade farm lane. As long as the Sniper doesn't get hit by snakes, which he shouldn't, so.
Super's got to be careful though.
Yeah, Kaka's staying in the area. Only level 1 still, but making the committed roll. They still got Shrapnel.
That's Super. That's got the shield up, of course.
Should be fine.
And he's still got the salve available, so should be able to stick around. Indeed he does. But yeah, definitely the presence of this Spirit starting to create a bit of a lead here for SCCC in the mid lane.
Kaka's level 2 now, trying to keep that consistent harassment up on that mid lane. Can't really, like we said, that's the only lane that he can pressure really at this point. Once he gets more levels up online, then they can start going for maybe some support kills if they catch people out of position, but the rest of their heroes don't really do that just yet. It's really just playing around the sniper.
Bottom lane as well. Are you a little surprised that Arfu hasn't been able to do much more in terms of trying to keep this Bloodseeker away from the free farm? Because as we're seeing, he's sitting at the top of the CS, and this bottom lane is going beautifully for Newbee.
Well, the thing is that the pull is blocked again. That's what we were talking about. The wards in these early games for these Chinese teams are so important because they're just trying to maximize the farm and maximize their levels as best as possible. They can't really threaten a Dazzle lane with the dual lane. There's just so much heal, so much sustain coming out of it. So he can't pull too much. Now he does. He's able to get 1 pull and a stack off at least. So that's going to help LFY's bottom lane a lot.
As you see there in the river, Arca getting eyes onto DDC. Did bring SCCC along as well, but not quite the catch for this Lich.
First nighttime, see if they're going to do anything. The Earth Spirit leaving the top lane is actually really benefiting Newbee. That Axe is just free farming pretty much up there, and with the pull starting to open up too, he's going to be able to accelerate his farming growth. It is nighttime now though, so we're going to see what can happen off of that.
Let's up a bit of harassment there onto DDC. In fact, KP will get the cool off. In Flames there though, in time to keep the Axe off the Lich. I guess this is the thing as well about the offlane Night Stalker. It's great in terms of getting levels and farm, but if he does start to make those movements during the night, it becomes a bit more obvious. And
yes.
Newbee've got more time to prepare for it.
Definitely. Make TP responses very quickly though, which is a nice thing. They actually see Faith rotating with this ward here. They might be able to pincer him. Afu getting the fissure block.
This could set up for something very tasty. They're bringing Super over as well. In terms of lockdown, it's not quite there with just the level 2 on the Shaker.
Yeah. Just an annoying fissure block, that's all. It's really up to Afu making all the rotations with this Earthshaker, but like we said, there's not really great kill lanes. Pretty passive lanes coming out from both teams.
Overall, though, the passiveness certainly favoring Newbee, no doubt about that. When you look at the CS that's been found, mid lane again, Kaka looking for the roll in onto Super. With the 2 points in mana shield, very, very hard to go upon and get the kill.
You see, LFY understands that this is the only threatening lane at the moment too. They put wards down first nighttime, all around Super, just making sure that he can get as much as possible. They know Kaka's gonna play around there.
Lane again, making another bit of a roll in. Now Super a little low on the mana. They do get the kickback and into the hands of SCCC and Kaka. They should be able to bring him down.
Got him.
First, but I mean, this mid lane is an absolute beauty. Look at the CS on this sniper. 29, 26 denies in the first 6 minutes. Insane laning here from SCCC.
Making the early game work exactly what they need to do. Level 6 now on the sniper. They're gonna be able to go for more kills like that. I like Kaka's persistence there. He didn't try making moves to the top lane. Didn't try making moves bottom. He understands this mid lane is the one that I can get kills in. Doesn't work once, try again. Doesn't work that time, keep trying that because that's the one that they need to be pressuring.
I'm looking at this bottom lane as well, and Monet also incredibly struggling with the CS.
Yeah, he
in comparison to Mugi. It's just continued from the start. 38-13 against the 18 for 3. I do feel, though, that we've seen this before. You know, LFY in their games sometimes not necessarily the best in the lanes in terms of getting the farm. It's their movements, it's their coordination as a team that brings them together after the early stages. But this is a massive boost for Newbee to be coming out of a laning stage with this sort of farm being traded, favoring themselves.
They actually have a ward already placed, expecting that nice sucker movement from top. SCCC shouldn't really get brought out from this one. He did see the rotation coming in.
He's got Kaka in the neighborhood as well, so Kaka will be able to offer some sort of save, and there's the silence. In fact, they could look to try and turn, but the shrapnel down, boulder smash as well. Kaka's got to be careful though. Super throws out the snake. Kaka will go down. Inflame moving in, and with the silence, they've got to be careful with this sniper. Is he going to be able to get the chance to get the ult off? He is.
But TP's coming out. Oh!
Not quite there though.
That decision making, you see how he turns to get the silence off, so he gets the increased miss rate on the sniper as well, plus the void. In some situations there, you might see Nightstalker just like try to run away and end up dying because of the assassinate, but the way that he does that is actually so precise. Split-second survival.
Very, very good call from LFY to make. starting to alleviate the pressure a little bit that's been put on to Super on his mid lane, Medusa. Kakra coming down to join Faith on the bottom lane. Has the levels.
Mid lane.
And again, yeah, I mean, they need to TP someone over. They will indeed. Dazzle is on the way. Arfu trying to dive in deeper, but
Arfu's too deep.
He's got to get out of there, and I don't know if he can. Throw out the Fisher, does connect onto 2, trying to bring that CC low with the Enchant Totem, but the Shrapnel's too much.
Shrapnel early game, something that one of the most powerful slows. Those 3 charges. They have expended all 3 now, though, but we'll have them back quite soon. Yeah, all 3 lanes looking pretty damn good for Newbee now with those rotations from Kaka.
Kaka's on the hunt. It's down here under the cover of the Invis. So we can see all 3 top of the net worth, the 3 cores of Newbee. No surprise there, considering what we've seen from this laning stage. This Invis rune could be pretty big. If they can get Mugi over, he has got Rupture. This should be a good opportunity for Newbee to try for the kill, and indeed, here we go. There's the smash. Rupture's down. Monet, he's just going to go for the straight TP out. It's a smart move, and it's going to save him.
Wow. Yeah, really smart.
Very good calls here from LFY, knowing exactly when to back out and knowing the lack of control and lockdowns there for Newbee.
Newbee's coming out super far ahead in this laning phase, though. We touched on, like the panel was saying it, Newbee drafted for lanes. That was their big picks there. While LFY has more of a grand scheme of things. If the game goes late, if they're able to turtle it up with that Lich, with that Medusa, they can have an incredibly strong team fight. But for now, it's still very passive coming out from LFY, trying to make those 1 rotations. It's only the Nightstock who can do it so far. Afu doesn't have a partner with that Lich, who's a very static hero. That's what we mentioned a lot about the Lich. If they can make moves all around the map for Newbee, he can't really respond. Faith getting gone on, but this is a level 5 Dazzle already.
He should be fine. He does have the Grave, and indeed Monet. He's not going to waste his time diving upon that, especially with Mugi in the neighborhood. Up top, bit of a go on to KP, but KP just makes the call, tries to look to get the spinners off, turns towards Inflame, bring them down low here with the spins, but now the silence is upon him. DDC and Inflame trying to cut him out, but Inflame, he's got to be careful how close he gets. And now with the TP over from Faith, the backup's going to be there if KP is dived upon. Arfu maybe looking to move around as well. They do have the 3 members here. LFY thinking about making the play. Actually, double ops there.
Oops.
I mean, that's a bit of an awkward one.
That's painful. That'll hurt them.
I bet they're playing the lag for that. Bottom lane.
Kaka's able to set up with the stun silence. I touched on it, like that Bloodseeker or Earth Spirit. If they can see the opportunities when the rotations happen from the other team, they can kill almost any lane. It's such a strong combo.
Things certainly looking up for Newbee. 10 minutes in to have this 4K lead against LFY of all teams. It's got to be feeling pretty good inside the Newbee booth for the moment.
Yeah, their lane decision is really what's causing this to happen.
Should be in trouble here. Arfu's there as well. Has the Fish of Faith. No chance to do anything in reaction, LFY. Pick off the Dazzle. 4 members at the moment up here on this top lane. We'll see if they can get anything else done. Starting to put a bit of pressure on as well as Monet moves forward.
Yeah, having this Axe just sitting top when they did that Bloodseeker Dazzle lane bottom was just genius. I don't think it was expected by LFY. So it's really hurting them, and Newbee's getting further and further ahead in this game. Big situation is going to be when KP gets that Blink Dagger on the Axe, and he's getting there already. He's got Ring of Health with boots and 800 gold away on that Axe. Very good start.
Yeah, I mean, if they can get that and Newbee can start to move around, I mean, just even with the Axe and the Bloodseeker trying to invade LFY's jungle, keep tabs on Super's Medusa, they are going to be in a perfect spot, especially considering the farm that SCC's got. I think we just looked and he's very, very close to having a Maelstrom.
Yeah, almost treads Maelstrom already with the killer. Continuing some pressure onto Super.
Looks like Monet should be able to get the tower here. KP's going to try and play around with him. First call. Is he going to catch him there? He saves it for the second one. Faith with beautiful execution there from Newbee. Absolutely perfect. So KP there teasing around with the call. Catches him in the second. Very, very nicely done. At the same time, Mugi gets the final touch onto that bottom tier 1 tower.
And LFY they're in some serious trouble, to be honest. This Weaver is very, very shut down. Half of the net worth of the sniper at the moment already, and it's only 12 minutes in.
And with KP having that money now for the blink, I mean, as we've just seen, if he just gets a call on this Weaver with a +1, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill every time. On top, Newbee. To be careful, LFY have moved over. Inflame and Arfu looking for some action. KP's down there. Rather hard target to go for, especially with Faith in the neighborhood. We'll drop down the Weaver. They'll throw out the chain front. Just go for the TPI. He's not going to make it, though. Arfu from the high ground with the Fisher. Enough to shut down KP. Now they look to try and get more out of it. The tier 1, of course, already gone. Faith, nowhere to run. He has got the Crave. Does have the TP, but realizes that there's no chance of getting out with the potential of the Void, the stuns from Arfu, and Inflame will clean up a double kill off the back of that play.
Onyx could be in trouble bottom. Kaka's invis on top of him.
Got the silence, so they have the full control. No, he gets the chance to
Saving
get the time
stun. Trying to save the stun for that TP thing, but the TP's actually on cooldown. Kaka now able to throw the stun out.
Onyx got to be careful. Did stand in place there with that Shukuchi trying to fight back.
Actually survives, not taking that much rupture damage because of the way he just stood still. Very well played by Monet.
One, of course, SCCC finding the stack here, helping Mugi bring it down.
Oh yeah, that was a quad stack that had been down there earlier.
Big one. Inflame's back in the neighborhood though. Is on his own. We'll see what he can do in terms of rest. I mean, the Void there's a lot of damage, and again, TP seeming to be the aim of the game. Straight out, and Mugi's back to safety. Starting to get some kills, LFY. Still though, Newbee maintaining the overall lead.
They've got the blink, they've got the quick initiation now, and they've got a pretty good wardage situation going on. They're gonna be able to catch Inflame here.
Away. In with the jump, the damage from SCCC and Faith, too much for Inflame to deal with. The dunk will come a little bit early, but it doesn't matter. They get the kill nonetheless. SCCC now on a killing spree, maintaining that top spot.
You can tell they're feeling pressure too because the itemization that's coming out from the Night Stalker. He's going to be going for just phase, drum, earn all early game items so he can try to alleviate all this pressure that's being caused by Newbee. He needs to be the one to pretty much make all the space for that Medusa and for that Weaver to kind of come back. Monet is super shut down this game, as we were mentioning. Medusa's starting to catch up though, slowly but surely. Almost has the Blade Mail finished up. And that's like their big kind of team fight that rounds them together. Off the top.
Yeah, he's going to try and for Artificial. Will hold back SCCC, but now looking for the boulder smash, won't connect. But the Assassinate, bam, it will not quite enough though.
Oh, and the raindrop blocks the damage from the pull from Kaka.
The Shrine activated as well, keeping that Shaker alive. Arfu, incredibly lucky there to get away with his life.
Insane amount of damage already coming out from SCCC with that Maelstrom build. Already going into a Dragon Lance next.
Look at this as well, Mugi just 300 away from having the Relic for his Radiance. LFY, smoking up, AP in the neighborhood, but he has a lot of backup. SCCC's there. Kaka definitely the one to be most alone at the moment, and LFY will spot him out. I don't know if he can play his way out. He has got the silence and the smash, also the roll, but he's got 10 1 charges as well. Looks like he won't get the chance to use them though. Arfu has the control. LFY taking down Kaka, and that's going to put Arfu very close to having the money for his own Blink Dagger. 2k gold at the moment on the Shaker.
Yeah, he might just save for that. That's another thing that could do the, bring his cores back in the game, is him just rushing that very early Blink rather than getting any small items.
Flame.
He's got eyes on SCCC. He knows he's in the area, it seems.
Faith is also very close towards that mid lane. Will have a chance to come in for a reaction, trying to go in onto SCCC, but now the backup comes in. Mass TPs, KP and the gang ready to return. Roll for it from Kaka, won't get the connection, looks for the boulder smash. It's going to be off the mark as well as Inflame gets himself across the tree line. At the end of the day, a bit of a bait there, as looks like they'll all get
Super's
out.
ruptured now too, and isolated.
With the blood right upon him, and pop the blade mail, does get the stone gaze out in time. Looks like, is it enough to keep them up? Boulder smash comes in, KP actually jumps in, gets the call. Roll fall from Kaka with the magnetize out though as well. They're trying to turn, Chain Frost only connecting once onto Mugi. A second blood right comes out, Super's stuck in the midst of it. Super's down. At the same time though, they will lose SCCC as Inflame and Monet moved onto him on the backlines. They'll now turn towards Vega, but KP's back in, gets the call, has the control there onto Monet, holding the Weaver back, but Arfu with a two-man Fisher trying to turn. Mugi's brought down, they've got the double kill on Monet, and they're not done yet, LFY. They're moving in for more KP, looking to tease round, gets the call onto the Night Stalker, but Arfu and DDC still outside the range of it, coming back in with Monet, pick up another.
They had to spend so much to try to bring down this Medusa. The backlines actually just come in and flank SCCC, the Weaver and the Night Stalker, able to just kind of pierce the backlines, and that's what comes out. The majority of the damage is going to be coming out from the sniper in this instances, so Medusa takes a little bit too long to get brought down, and LFY with a huge comeback win here.
I mean, as you said, beautifully split up that fight down to LFY's execution. We'll see it on the map as well. You'll see how the rest of them go straight up to the high ground, ignore this position that Super's in. Because a lot of Newbee, they focus straight for Super. They really want to bring down this Medusa, but everyone else, Dazzle and Weaver, they've got a Dazzle and the Sniper, sorry. They've got a Weaver, they've got a Night Stalker on their hands.
That's with Newbee using their defensive shrine there as well, while the Weaver and the Night Stalker were running at them. So the part that we can't see on the screen, Dazzle actually gets a grave on the Sniper, they use the shrine, but the fact that they were able to just pierce into that backline with the Night Stalker and Weaver was everything that wins that fight for LFY there.
This is exactly the sort of plays that we've been used to seeing from LFY. They may sometimes fall behind in the laning stage, but their shot calling, their playmaking in the chaos of these team fights just seems to be unmatched.
And that was pre-Earthshaker Blink Dagger, who now also has Arcane Boots finished up right afterwards. So it's only 18 minutes in, he's got both of these picked up somehow. Awful just finds the items. Now with Echo Slam ready to go, they can look for another type of commitment. However, it is daytime and there's no darkness available just yet, so maybe wanted to hold off on that one just for a moment. Monet getting closer and closer to that defusal now after that fight. Pretty much like got himself 2,000 gold from that like 2-minute situation that happened. Newbee now waiting for that Radiance, and now the darkness is online with that Blink Dagger. LFY is looking to get on the aggressive.
They certainly are.
They can
got the opportunity to do so, though.
Instantly blow somebody up pretty much now with that Echo Slam, and if the Night Stalker can get in range with Lich.
Yugi wouldn't be a bad target at all. Not quite there with the full Radiance. A few hundred more for the recipe. Any sort of setback for the Bloodseeker will be great news for LFY.
Either core, that's what they want right now, the Sniper or the Bloodseeker. Axe is okay, but it's either that, kills, or a kill that's on a support or something to lead into a tower. But ideally they want one of those big cores. Kaka shows his face bottom. Good flame.
Maybe the kill that they just settled for. I don't see any other opportunity for Kaka's away. As soon as that darkness comes out, he is out of there. No messing around from this Earth Spirit.
They're able to pressure tower off of this though, so it's at least an objective that's going to come through that smoke and darkness that was used. And the nighttime is in about, I think it was at 20, so it's about 45 more seconds afterwards. So once that darkness does end, it's going to be night anyway. And it's going to be LFY continuing to try that pressure. Newbee still finishing up some items, as we were mentioning. The Vanguard soon finished on Axe, and Radiance is done now on Bloodseeker. So they've got some decent timings coming out too. Radiance is quite nice versus, of course, the Earthshaker Blink if he's able to get in range, but good versus the miss rate of the Weaver and Medusa.
KP and Faith ready to go with the gang. CCC and Mugi joining in as well. Kaka hiding in the tree line. LFY have moved away from this bottom lane push. As you mentioned now, with the completed defusal.
You can feel Newbee was feeling some pressure after that fight, though. You look at their jungle, and they placed 4 defensive sentries trying to find out the vision from LFY. The vision game is a huge aspect when you're playing versus these Night Stalkers, as we always touch upon. Now mid. Super. Posted up on the tower.
So they want to make this jump, Newbee. It could be hard coming out this far, especially with that Earthshaker, the Blink, the Echo Slam ready to react.
Monet was trying to bait them with this illusion, it seemed. Walking it up, but getting hit by the shrapnel and the blood right, and they get cleared out quickly. But tower actually gets denied by SCCC there.
Nice little peep shot there from SCCC.
Cute.
And still, both teams keeping themselves well aware and away from each other.
Making their way actually into the Roche pit with the Swarm. Makes it a lot easier to be able to bring it down. And Medallion also finished up on Inflame. This one might actually go down unexpected here for Newbee.
I mean, there's no wards at all around this area for Newbee. LFY full control of this.
Oh, this is what we were talking about. You know, Newbee had this incredibly good laning start. Yeah. LFY, their team fight, their just the way that they know how to take fights and their objective timings. Oh boy.
Monet with the Aegis in hand. Newbee certainly are going to have to think twice about looking for that fight that they were trying for earlier. With that Aegis in mind.
This is an Aegis that they can take fights with, but it's more of those. It's a kind of stalling one too, because all the LFY wants to do is take this game later and later with their draft, with that Medusa.
What's the play now for Newbee? LFY pushing in this top lane.
They have such a fear factor now. They don't want to make any aggressive plays into an Aegis.
Yeah, this game over the last 5 minutes or so has suddenly become so scary for Newbee. You can see it there on the net worth, a real swing around there. As LFY take the lead and continue to progress this advantage that they have against Newbee at this stage. Grouping up, pushing down lanes. Newbee themselves starting to head towards the bottom, see if they can maybe get some sort of a trade here for LFY's movements. As LFY will take this tier 2. No response from Newbee. And still being very, very careful in this bottom lane, not wanting to actually go in onto that tier 2. Still aware that LFY can very easily defend and hold these objectives.
very methodical from both teams, just trying to play around those timings, play away from that Aegis. Now Newbee's going to start farming those BKBs to be able to try to deal with that Earthshaker, because the fissures and the lockdown have been an issue. The smoke actually gets seen by LFY. They know this is happening.
See if he can get this jump. Monet has the Aegis. They will get the initial call. They've got to bring him down twice. Bottom smashes to heal one. That's him gone once. Can they do it a second time,
trying to fight here, though.
Yeah, LFY ready to go back in. Chain Frost is there. Good bounces as well between the three of them. In fact, it bounces back. They couldn't quite split up enough. KP does get great. Chain Frost. Can he actually get out? I don't think he can, because on the sideline, there's the jump in. Arfu with the Echo Slam straight in. Onto SCCC. The Fissure as well. Onto 2. Arfu picks up the double kill.
Monet will get cleaned up in the back, though, by Mugi. Inflame just sees the Dazzle for 1 second. It flies over with the Hunt in the Night and just stands on top of him, unable for him to really get a good positioning in the fight.
And straight away with that favorable trade there for LFY, they'll continue to move down mid, get some pressure onto this tier 2.
They're lacking ways to get into the fight now, because even if the Axe gets that call, they can get that kill, but the fact that there's an Aegis there, everyone else just, they use the Drum right away from the Night Stalker, and they just literally beeline it. That was a pretty fortunate Chain Frost as well. Just Newbee unable to split up from that one.
It looked like it was just on the verge of not being able to bounce back, but we see it again. I mean, they can very quickly bring down this Weaver. The problem is just this reinitiation.
Look how they all have to disperse in completely different areas.
Look at the range that it comes back in there. You would have thought it wasn't going to bounce back.
That's the cool thing about like Lich with Night Stalker. Actually, everybody kind of has to disperse their own ways, and it gives Inflame a lot of opportunity just to be like, oh, I can isolate this Dazzle up in the corner just because everyone has to avoid the Chain Frost. So I really like the synergy coming out from those two.
Excellent Echo Slam as well from Arfu.
Yeah.
As soon as he sees SCC, he back up the lane, get next to those creeps. He's straight on them. And already, they're maybe looking to make some more plays. There's smokes up on the side of it. Arfu coming in. Does get the Fissure connection onto Kaka. Moving in. Does still have the backup of Faith, though. So this Earth Spirit, not that easy to go upon. Sentry's down. Faith will be able to keep Kaka alive. And now, though, Mugi on the sidelines drops the rush to KP with the Berserker's call.
The Chain Frost again.
Again, indeed. This Frost making them split up. Newbee are forced back. They can't finish off the kill. And on the sidelines, Monet was able to finish off Faith. Now LFY moving in for more. The Fissure block's there. Onto KP. He's gone. A second kill for LFY. Arfu, he's not done. Jumps forward. Looks to block off Kaka. SCCC will turn. Will peep off the Arfu Earthshaker. But again, Newbee.
Oh, Mugi gets caught.
Mugi out. Trying to TP back to the base outside the front door of it.
So much chase for LFY. As soon as that drum gets popped and the Chain Frost happens, it's like the whole fight just gets completely changed up.
And just beautiful how well Arfu just leads the direction of the fight, constantly moving on to the next target, setting it up for his teammates to back up and finish it off with him. LFY 14-8. I mean, as we said, that laning stage, nothing more than just a memory now for Newbee. As this Super Medusa climbing ahead, top of the graph, and there he is, Arfu. Making a real name for himself here at this year's International. All the way right up to this game. Kill participation, 100%. I mean, his average kill participation through the tournament, 85%, incredibly high. Just goes to show how well Arfu's been playing.
Yeah, him and Inflame are monsters. Inflame as well. You see he's 3-1 and 11. He's involved in all 14 kills as well, which we've seen coming out from both these guys throughout all of their games. They're always doing the heavy lifting, enabling their cores.
Radiant are scanning.
BKB now up for SCCC. So the threat of Arfu certainly limited as long as SCCC can get that BKB off at the start of the fight and look to just sort of wait on KP's initiation, sit back, get the damage out.
LFY always just playing around the nighttime, so playing around their vision game as they should be with with the big initiator like an Earthshaker, and with Nightstick able to be just an incredibly good hero versus Dazzle at all stages of the game. They're content with waiting until that happens. They do have Darkness though in case any fight does emerge.
Full staff as well now for KP. A very crucial item considering how good Arfu's been with his Fissure blocks. Getting his team or himself away from the grasp of LFY.
Yeah, they have to get, I mean, 4 staffs are always going to be good versus any type of lockdowns or any like diffusal blades and stuff. You can just peel away a bit. Need as many of those as possible. And here we go, Darkness. Just before it's about 50 seconds until nighttime's going to be hitting too. So Darkness right before that happens so that they go into a very long 4-minute night lull period afterwards where they're going to have all the advantage.
The last few seconds though, that ward in the mid lane will give them the info that they need. Newbee know that this is coming as they back right up. towards their base. Kaka's got to be careful how far he comes out, though, with the Fissure. Try and tease a bit of an initiation, but still Newbee very, very well prepared for this one. They saw it come through.
LGD.FY so good at playing around that vision game, as we were saying. All of them pushing it just to the limit, but here we go, the engagement comes out on Super.
He's going to try and drag it back here. Super also forced very deep into the hands of Newbee. They'll silence him up, but he just stands his ground, looking for the tier 2. Blade mails out, limiting what Newbee can do towards him. Now popping the Stone Gaze. Newbee back off.
Starting to drop very low.
In fact, it might just get him with the blood right.
Oh, he's dead.
He is certainly gone. KP comes in for the finishing blow. That's a massive kill for Newbee to take there. Not worth for LFY at all, and in fact with the Yule Scepter they may just get more. Look at what DDC is trying to get the Chain Frost out. The first don't come through. He's going to hold back the ultimate, knows it won't do anything now. As Newbee get a second. They're not done yet. KP seeing if he could get a grab onto Monet. But he is out of there.
That was all along the backs of the aggressive force staff coming out from KP. Put Super in such an awkward position. LFY didn't want to dive past those towers.
And they got a tier 2, but certainly not worth that for LFY. Losing Super, a massive kill for Newbee to take. Now Newbee themselves can look to pick up some map control. They'll clear up the tier 1 in the mid lane. Holman into the bank of SCCC as he himself looking to get that Hurricane Pipe. An extra bit of force potential to help shift himself and his team around.
If they can ever just peel the way the fight from the sniper, that's where Newbee shines. Because then they can even, if he's not getting hit by anything, they can even throw Blood Rage on him. And a Blood Rage sniper in some of those team fights, if they're not on top of him, he'll just be destroying LFY. And with those BKBs finished up, they have a good way to actually make that space for the sniper to do that in the fights.
And as always, of course, Face positioning been absolutely fantastic on this Dazzle. Despite Inflame as Wigzia's best efforts on the Night Stalker, Faith has to be so careful. It's such a terrifying game to play the Dazzle in.
Yeah.
With this Night Stalker constantly making a beeline for you. He's always got the Frost Armor upon him. So very little that you can do to get him out. You've just got to hope that you can get the spells out before him. And that as the Dazzle, you are right behind your teammates. So they can back you up and ensure that you can survive through these fights and get off the clutch graves as Faith has been.
Next big fight will probably be around that Roche. We see LFY actually picks up a gem just to clear out some of that vision before that engagement can happen.
Radiant are scanning.
Now got the Lincoln Sphere finished on Monet. So we'll feel a little safer from that dunk potential and the rupture, of course.
They've got a Yules finished up now too on Afu. This is one of the best items actually to get versus Axe. Because as soon as the Axe blinks and calls, you just throw them in the air and then you'll alleviate a lot of the damage that's going to be coming out.
Kaka's got an Invis rune here. See if he can set anything up. He's looking towards Super.
They've got a gem though.
LFY, and indeed they see him straight away. The gem is revealed. Newbee not quite expecting LFY to have that one picked up yet. And will warrant them a kill straight off the bat.
And Roche is up, and that's 40 seconds without him. They could maybe try to go for something here. Newbee's going to start throwing spells in there, some Blood Rites, some Shrapnels.
I mean, they do still have good fight potential around the pit, but with a man down, it is risky. There's no doubt about that.
They're trying to take the fight instead first, while Kaka's dead. Aggressive leave, though. They're all losing a lot of armor here.
Got the Yules onto KP. Fissure up with the Blood Right down, puts LFY off from moving up the high ground to look for more.
They had the Butterfly being delivered too now for the Medusa, so with that level 20 as well, so he gets the plus 600 mana and a full Butterfly, just became incredibly durable. Now double evasion stack as well, and they've got a Solar Crest on top. They can actually make this Medusa's be sitting, pretty sure over like around 60% evasion rate with that Butterfly, Evasion Talent, and Solar Crest.
LFY again in the tree line. Waiting for Newbee to poke their head out. KP will jump forward to clear the wave, and now LFY looking to go and get the silence. Immediately with the force, gets himself away from the Fissure. Now the rupture onto Super, but can they kill him? He's got the Blade Mail out. Chain Frost bouncing back to Kaka. Kaka's gone. Down for 50. Super's got to be careful though with the rupture still upon him. Arfu on the backlines holding KP back, making sure that there's no chance for the Axe to get in on it. Echo Slam as well. Arfu and Inflame teaming up, tag teaming down the Axe. KP's gone, and now Faith's in trouble as well. Trying for the Shallow Grave TP out. Do they have any cancel? They don't. Faith will escape.
Now they go for the Roche. They wanted to take that fight like we were talking about. They've run to just beeline up there. The Medusa, no fear. With that extra durability that he gets from level 20, he's just way too tanky. He also got Blood Rage, and I think when he got the kill on Kaka, he healed up as well, so that made Newbee not want to go. And yeah, free Roche now, and that's Aegis Cheese with a superior late game lineup that we were talking about from LFY.
Yeah, LFY hitting their timings perfectly. And again, I mean, we're seeing it time and time again. They're so good in these fights and knowing the targets. You see straight away looking for the Axe, but immediately Arfu he cares about one thing. He cares about KP getting in on the action. And he holds himself back. And just towards the top right, you can see there immediately. As soon as KP tries to go for the Battle Hunger to stop Arfu from being able to blink in, Arfu straight in with the Yule Scepter. Him and Inflame keep KP out of the fight. And the rest of Newbee just have to scatter and try and get themselves back to base.
So what happens when you're playing versus Night Stalker a lot of times, you know, you want to take these engagements like that, but it ends up being like sloppy because your initiator gets grabbed first, and then he just gets locked down because you always see where he is inside of the fights. So Newbee needs to have, of course, the Axe get those fights. For him to start the fights with Kaka to follow up, but playing around that vision is extremely difficult.
And I mean, as you said, just the fact that this Medusa is so massive, super
farmed, yeah.
Looking pretty much unkillable at this stage unless Newbee can really rip the team up out of him apart from around this Medusa when they go for these 5-man plays. But as we've seen in the state that they are at the moment, it's become incredibly hard for them to do.
Yeah, the only real damage is coming out from Mugi and from the sniper, so they have to, the Bloodseeker at least has to run all the way into Medusa, and all that happens is the Stone Gaze gets popped, and there's no way you can do damage there while the sniper is scared, because as soon as you pop BKB, the threat of a Night Stalker running in or an Earthshaker Fissure coming out afterwards is there.
MKB that's coming out next for SCCC, obviously an absolute necessity.
Needs way too much evasion on this Medusa. We're going to see Super going for that very tanky build that we always do see, the Eye of Scotty next, after that Manta Butterfly.
Things again slowing down, but as we've been saying, this is always going to favor this LFY lineup.
Yeah, and I mean, with Aegis Cheese too, they're feeling pretty damn strong, and this is where Monet gets to catch up, because he's still not really farming as we usually see Monet have those games. Like only 3-3, he did get pressured super hard, had an impossible lane matchup as well, but he's on the road to recovery, and it's the Dusa that's the head honcho.
And again, LFY with the darkness, looking to invade Newbee's half of the map. See how far around they want to come.
Invis on Afu too, so he's looking for something.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like they won't come too far over. I mean, at the most, just making sure the space is there for Super to start to power down this bottom lane. Look to take down this tier 2, and he'll take it. All tier 2's now gone, 35 minutes into the game, LFY. Continuing to maintain incredible control in this game 1. The best of 3 series here in the winner bracket final.
And that was where the, the discipline and the methodical win kind of starts to brew itself. Not want to take any risks, even though they have Aegis Cheese. They can just let the fights come to them, and yeah, when we keep beating over to death, is that they have the late game, so they don't really need to make any over-aggressive plays. All kind of playing around each other. Everyone, pretty much all near each other. All of LFY. Newbee's trapped in their base now, all the farm. Just ticking up more and more for LFY.
I've got the money on the sniper now for SCCC to finish off that NKB. Obviously, we'll leave him in a position without buyback available, but maybe at this stage, if you want to have any sort of hope of holding LFY back from breaking the high ground, you have to go all in on the purchases, and it indeed does look like they have as they pick up that Demon Edge, get it sent back.
He's like he's the only real damage for the Dusa, honestly, because the Bloodseeker going in to do damage is just, it's not realistic. Map control favoring LFY more. Monet finds himself a DD bottom. Maybe this is where they try to go for an aggressive play.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Super, he has the money for the Skadi now.
Yeah,
it's complete, just like that. Matter of minutes, that's Inflame now also has a Lotus Orb, so they have all the potential to just buff up Super, allow him to sit on the high ground.
Yeah, just throw everything on him.
How can Newbee put a stop to this?
570 GPM Dusa. After he got pressured a decent amount by Newbee in that lane too, he just sat back, farmed Ancients, and he's that thing that brings the whole team together with that Stone Gaze. It's impossibly hard, it's almost impossible to fight around.
Arfu sort of working on his luxury items as well. Shadowblade up next, nearly has the money to pick it straight up.
It's always nighttime too, so Newbee, like, they just can't leave their base, they can't get any more farm coming their way. It's only going to be the sniper clearing out those waves that push in, so everyone else's farm is just going to get hindered more and more. KP's farm has mostly stagnated after the laning phase, after he died twice.
I mean, how do you break yourself out of this sort of position that Newbee are in? Do you have to sort of go for a YOLO smoke out of the base, or
don't think they can.
Waiting and hoping that LFY do make a bit of a mistake on the high ground attempt?
I think that's pretty much what you have to come down to. Smoking out into nighttime, that's asking for mistakes to kind of happen from Newbee. You're playing around no vision. And the scan came out from LFY in the Newbee base, and they caught him, so they know that Newbee's just stuck in there. And the lead will continue growing more and more for LFY.
And LFY more than happy to sit back, get these items. Monet as well.
Yeah,
nearly has the Scardian.
He's getting up there. He's almost tied up now with the Bloodseeker. Yeah, Bloodseeker can't farm. Just sends Manta, Radiant Solutions to try to get anything.
And I feel like we've just seen this sort of position that LFY have managed to force another team into time and time again, where 30 minutes in, they just make the map theirs. Both halves, full reign of it. They have deep wards down as well. Now, I think here comes the desperation smoke from Newbee. They know that they have to do something. If the game continues like this, it's very unlikely that they can have any chance of swinging it around. They have to go for these high-risk, high-reward plays.
Yeah, the Aegis gets reclaimed, and right now, they're just sitting in their base. You know, they're not really playing Dota. They have to be able to do something to get back in this one. So this is their smoke. They're trying to make something happen. Try to go for some big pickoff when someone's separated from the team. Monet could be the target here.
Certainly would be the big one to get, but he's going to Shikuchi strange this smoke, and KP's going to be off the mark, tries for a call.
They put the sentry, he hides out,
but he's
time-lapse away.
Time-lapse is away, the silence connects, they do have the assassinate, but it's nowhere near enough damage or control.
And now the whole team's coming. LFY's on their way. Newbee's got to retreat, but they're going to get caught out here, it seems like.
They've got to run, they've got to hide. Arfu's going to be ready to jump in, doesn't quite have the vision there, the jump over the ruptures upon him. Will use himself up, Arfu taking a lot of damage, KP getting the core to Inflame. In fact, they've got Arfu, they've got Inflame. Buyback immediately from the Earthshaker, Super with the Stone Gaze, holding SEC back. Now he gets the chance to back up with the BKB, but Moogie, he's picked up the double kill.
Monet's going down as well.
Monet has no time lapse. Triple kill for Moogie. Now they go towards Supers. Blade mails out, Blood right. Moogie himself out of it. Arfu jumps in with the Echo Slam. Does take down SCCC. Super is incredibly big, incredibly tanky. Solar Crest upon him as Inflame comes back in. They turn towards Fave with the Shallow Grave and the self-use up. Moogie's trying for the TP out, not going to be. Oh! Gets himself away there. The BKB and the TP out will keep Moogie alive, but the rest of Newbee are down.
That was probably one of the best situations that could actually happen for Newbee, though. The way that fight started out, they throw the Rupture on Afu. He blinks, takes out 75% of his own health from the Rupture right away. So they don't have the initiation from him. Nightstalker also walks in as well. I believe he gets stunned or called right away, dies instantly too, so the fight just looks awkward. Forces them both to buy back right off the bat. And it's pretty much a Super versus everybody for quite a while.
KP pulling off to the side. And they slowly but surely are bringing Super's mana down, but so gradually.
Yeah.
And even with the three of them just focusing him, the Blade Mail's back up.
LFY did look like they were a bit concerned though. That double buyback, you could see they're like, okay, this fight looked a bit scary. Super might get isolated.
Definitely signs of life there for Newbee. KP fully immersed in this game. Has to keep concentration at the highest. There's such high stakes on the line here in this winner's bracket. Nearly has the Blade Mail done on KP. Certainly could make the difference if he gets a good jump in.
You get the level 25 Medusa now. Goes for the 2-second stone gaze stun. A 5-second stone duration. If anybody actually gets caught by that one, it's pretty brutal how much the Medusa actually can deal with the item build that she has. But Moogie still has a good matchup, you know, versus that Weaver. You saw what happened in that fight. As long as he has vision of the Weaver for a couple seconds, he can just run at him with that movement speed that starts to build up in those fights.
The gem going to be picked up for LFY. I believe they did lose the last one in that fight. But I mean,
Super's building into more damage now, too.
But he's close to the MKB. Well,
yeah,
okay, still a bit to go.
Still a bit to go, but
he's still so far ahead of anyone else in this game. 24,000 net worth on this Medusa. As you say, capping out on the levels.
Yeah, needing this MKB as well. Maybe preemptively expecting a sniper to go for the butterfly, but mostly for the Radiance at the current time. And if there is a Solar Crest, they'll come out afterwards. It's just a good damage item.
And SCCC as well at the moment does have Satanic queued up. I guess realizing that these fights, there's never going to be a short one. If they ever want to have a chance of bringing down Super, it's going to be a game of sustain, of stamina. And Satanic, definitely an item that can offer that for you.
Smoked up by LFY. They have Darkness available. Nighttime is in about 1 minute and 40 seconds. The line is drawn. They throw the scan as well. They know exactly where Newbee's positioned on this high ground.
They will know there was some sort of vision there as the creeps did take down Newbee's ward. And it could have been a sentry, but of course it was the gem. In fact, now there's the jump in. Look for Kaka. Silence out upon him. Arfu coming in as well. Yules will be there, buying some time. Kaka does get the bonus smash. In fact, off onto Arfu. Arfu, again, Yules up. But can they quite finish off the Shaker? They can. That's the Shaker down. Super now, forcing the rest of Newbee away on the sidelines. We're going to have Mugi trying to man up against Monet. Monet, in fact, might just go down. He's trying to scoot himself as well, but he can't get it. The Radiance burns it up. They take it down too. They're going to be able to dunk down in Flame as well. And Mugi's not done. Turning towards DDC. DDC trying to run himself away, but the chase down is there. They've taken 4. They may just get Super as well. They have the Berserker's call into the bonus match. SCC sits back, gets the damage down. Noah's Gaming has got the cheese. Now, cheese could be an issue. We'll see how lactose intolerant Newbee are. They're looking to man up against this Medusa. SDCC back on the high ground, peeping him down. The Stone Gaze will hit in onto KP, but Mugi's back in with the gag. So they're going to be careful. Step away from this, boys. They'll lose the Earthshaker, but get the kill. Newbee somehow are doing it in these team fights, wiping LFY.
With that high ground advantage, again, look at how much damage the Bloodseeker is able to do in these engagements.
8,000, I mean, we saw so many kills there, down to just that Radiance burn with the Blood Rage on the edge of it all.
The fight got completely split up. KP was able to keep Medusa on the left side. Afu gets caught on the right side. Nightstalker and Earthshaker die right away. There's a lot of the control for LFY to actually get that chase out. Further Weaver and further Medusa to do damage.
I mean, this is insane. Newbee just raising their game to another level to keep up and on par with that of LFY.
Bloodseeker level 25 now too with that super low cooldown Blood Right.
And now it's Newbee with the Aegis and Cheese, less than a 1k lead.
Unbelievable. Let's take a look at how this fight happened. So they get Kaka completely segregated here, but Alfu blinks in and gets destroyed.
And at the same time, Super at the start does a great job of forcing the rest of Newbee away, but it's on this side here. Monet trying to man up against Mugi.
They can't handle Mugi. When he has that BKB pop plus that Crimson Guard, there's just way too much survivability coming out for him. With that gem as well, it's super important that he's the one holding the gem on the Bloodseeker. So he always tracks out where that Weaver is.
Just a perfect item build from Mugi this game, with the Manta and the BKB having enough survivability. And we did see, of course, how hard it was for them to bring down Super at the very end, but they did do it. They take them all down.
Rare mistakes coming out from Afu in these fights. That's twice now that he's gotten not able to get a good Echo Slam off at the start of the fight. It's also, you know, they were walking into the high ground at disadvantage.
Look at that graph. Newbee.
Massive swing. They're actually ahead now.
This is insane. Considering how much control LFY had at the full board, and now Newbee able to take these fights back on an even level with the standings of LFY's team.
That experience swing as well is massive. Almost 15k after those two situations that just happened. And I believe they got, did they actually recover both gems? I want to say
I think Faith did pick up one of the gems. It was left around the pit.
So there's 3 gems now. There's 2 at base and 1 on Kaka. And now, I don't believe LFY can actually buy a secondary one just yet.
No, because they recently brought it with Super. I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, it's still on cooldown, I imagine.
Yep.
Yeah, KP and Kaka both holding gems at the moment for the side. We'll see if they do both continue to take them out. I mean, obviously great heroes to have them upon. Kaka can scout at this higher cliffs and search for the D-wards, and KP being their front liner, needing that vision to have a chance of catching down Monet. And looks like Newbee, they're coming out. They want to try and continue this momentum that they've recently found with this smoke up.
They've got Aegis and Cheese, so. And they're wanting to attain map control after this 40-minute mark, where we see those runes, extra creep waves, etc. coming out.
Flame, it would be a nice little one to jump on at the start, but immediately the darkness comes out. As soon as Faith has that smoke dispelled and Inflame's out of there. They're aware of some shenanigans going on down towards the bottom. But Newbee will still stand their ground, continue to move across, look towards taking this tier 2. And indeed, certainly now Newbee feeling that element of power that they can now try and force LFY to react to them down to those last few team fights. CCC now with the money as well to finish off that Satanic. MKB is now there though for Super.
The Sniper and the Bloodseeker are just super, like crazy farm though. Like Bloodseeker over the Weaver is 8,000 gold. And just being able to stand toe-to-toe as a Weaver versus Bloodseeker is incredibly important, but he can't at all right now at this stage.
And Mugi individually got so much from those last fights. Definitely when we're looking at Super, a few minutes ago, he was a clear 5,000 ahead of that Bloodseeker.
Yeah.
So the amount that he's got out of that is absolutely insane.
his targeting the fights is just perfect. He's not trying to focus on the Medusa. That's what we said it before. The Bloodseeker to the Medusa, he can't really go for that damage on it. But if he can go around picking off the sidelines, if he can find the Night Stalker, the Weaver, that's the dream situations for Newbee. Aegis still for about a minute and a half on Newbee. They're holding multiple gems too. They're holding 2 of them now on the Axe and the Earth Spirit to try to keep track of where that Weaver is in those fights.
Yeah, really nice use of the Manta style as well from Mugi, constantly sweeping the illusions round to the outskirts of the fight to make sure that there's very little chance that Arfu can get that blink in from the Shaker.
Yeah.
See how they react to this. SCCC slowly pushing down this mid lane.
Very slow attack speed on SCCC right now with this build. No real attack speed items actually, just the treads and the Maelstrom.
Haste.
Some harassment assassinates that only do like 200 damage.
Bit of a warning shot. Frost Armor's out onto the tower. Looks like it will not be enough to save it. Newbee take the tier 2, back off Super. Maybe see if he can get some sort of a catch there with a Scardy hit. Not going to be the case.
With those double MKBs up, they can do quite a lot of damage to that Dusa.
And again, with these wards that Newbee got out off the back of that push. And the,
in
fact, yeah, he gets the grab. Do they have the follow-up though? There's the boulder smash, perfectly timed with the silence as well. It's going to be close. Block right support.
Getting locked down.
That's the Weaver gone. They take down Monet. And now LFY, they've got to be careful. There's the stone game for Super again. KP, he comes in, gets the call off. Super being control. They'll buy back on Monet, but Super, he's falling down low with the road trip. He's gone. SCCC will lose the Aegis, but that's Medusa down. Monet brought back for this. There's the first silence. Do they have the control?
Another stun.
Smashes Arfu trying to hold the back, has the Echo Slam off the back of the Fisher. But there we go. Newbie still moving forward, looking for Monet. Kaka will get himself out of there. But Mugi's chasing down the Weaver. Monet has the time lapse. Assassinate is upon him. Will bring him down. No, not quite low enough with the Lincoln Sphere to block it. He should be fine.
Level 25's got that movement speed to run away.
But again, these fights from Newbee, I mean, Monet's got to be careful, Mugi. Still on the hunt. The rest of the team making their way over as well. But yeah, quite not enough catch to close that gap. But this is huge. Super down for 60 seconds. You forced a buyback out of Monet on his Weaver.
They're chaining their CC so well. That was stun into silence, into another silence, while he's ruptured as well. And an Axe Call on top to so many different types of disable for this Weaver who does not have magic immunity. Could be considering that he may want to change up the build to go for that just because of this lockdown.
You've got to watch KP. KP gets a grab on him. He's going to be in trouble. Fortification will be forced out. Newbee ready to push in. Maybe seeing if they can get a reaction out. Super jumping from KP, does get the grab onto the Night Stalker, dragging in Flame in, a weak limit came up. Is it enough to save him with the blood right? Pure damage, it should bring him down, and it does. Mugi gets the kill, the Chain Frost is out, but it's not enough to deter Newbee back from this push.
Monet's ruptured in silence.
The bashes as well, that's the Weaver down. For 2 minutes, no Monet. Does not have buyback. And now Newbee, they're closing in on the bottom ranks. They'll easily take this one. Can they take more out of it?
Wow.
The mid lane's pushing in. They've already found the tier 2 there. They can look for a second lane. Super will be back up at 100 seconds without this Weaver fog.
This is definitely problematic. Braxtery dropping down now too. Multiple wagons. KP goes for a call.
Try to Fisher block him in. Won't quite get the block off. KP will be fine, but slowing down this push from Newbee. LFY really not wanting to lose a second lane of Rax at this point. But you also have the Medusa to push out these stronger creeps, but still, Newbee gaining a good grip on this game. 14,000 net worth lead now. KP again on the outskirts looking for that jump, and he's going to find it.
Find him.
Yes, the Medusa starting to drag him back. We'll get Glimmer caped up, so Super will be fine. Can't quite drag him all the way out of the base as KP would have hoped to.
2 shrines expended there by LFY.
KP again, Battle Hunger onto Arfu. No chance of the blinking from the Shaker now. In fact, KP again going in onto Super. Boulder Smash is there to follow through as well. But now with the Fisher block, KP could be in trouble. The Scardy slowing him down. Silence upon Mugi, but he beat KP's. Backs off. They get another melee Rax. Can they put it? But no, KP goes back in again. Gets the call off onto Inflame. Inflame's gone. Super moving forward with the Stone Gaze. Mugi, here he will get taken down. Big kill for Super.
Up was here too.
SCCC. Arfu has the control with the BKB. The same tactic. SCCC. He turns.
And they call it.
G is gone. It is over.
Wow.
Wow, Newbee. What a game one.
That turnaround.
I can't believe Newbee did that.
Holy crap. Mugi really stepped it up there, but what ended up happening is that LFY were really reliant on making sure that Apu and the Nightstalker are able to get into the fights because they are the catch. They're the chase for LFY's lineup. If they don't have that lockdown or those type of slows for the Medusa to get into the fights, we see what happens. Newbee's just able to prolong the fight with their massive amount of sustain from the Dazzle, from the Weave, and they end up taking those fights just because of the duration of them, because the way that the matchup of the Bloodseeker versus the Weaver is. Mugi just standing toe-to-toe, just ruining Monet's life for the entire game.
An absolutely excellent dodge, as we came to expect from this winners bracket final. This game one, insane performance from both sides, and as you say, just to see Newbee turn it around when LFY, 30 minutes in, they had full control of the map.
It really looked like they were going to be able to go for that siege, but just the multiple initiation from Newbee was incredible. The way they could split up the fights, defend that sniper, let him be in the back lines, extend the duration of it, and once the Earthshaker and Nightstalker are dead, it's really hard for LFY to keep those fights going with just a Weaver and a Dusa for their lack of catch. It's just them kind of trying to poke at people.
And it really was that one smoke we talked about.
Yep.
Newbee, their backs against their wall, they keep their calm, they keep their cool, they go for that high-risk smoke play, move down towards the bottom lane. Initial fight wasn't quite great. It wasn't like an incredible win for Newbee, but it was the fact that they were getting kills on LFY's cause, despite the fact that it cost a multitude of their lives. But wow, what a game one. Newbee leading the series 1-0. I cannot wait for game two, but we're going to have to as we give the players a break and we head back to the panel. Wow.
For the first time in this entire tournament, LFY loses a game in winners. And for a while there, Newbee kind of seemed to be on the back foot.
Yeah, we didn't really know the direction that that game was going to go. It was like, starts really in Newbee's favor, and Artur's like, yeah, this game's done. And then it goes the other way, and he's like, yeah, X is useless. And then it goes the other way, and he's like, X is a god.
You know, I had some assumptions in that game. I felt like it was entirely LFY's game at one point, and then they took this one fight where maybe they were feeling too optimistic, but the Shaker kind of ran up a hill into no vision. And usually how they were fighting previously is always they had this Nightstalker giving vision for this Earthshaker to always have some impact in the fight. But the way it went down was he just walked uphill, they had no vision, and Newbee smoked there, and they warded up. They wanted to force a fight there. And previously before that, they tried to catch the Weaver, and the Weaver wasted his time lapse as well. So already at this fight is sort of Newbee's fight, because they have vision and LFY doesn't, and they're not in the proper position where they can actually see a good jump for the Shaker. So the Shaker kind of just walked up this hill and insta got ruptured and blinked in, and he was in an incredibly bad position, and he wasn't able to actually do stuff in the fight. It didn't turn out so bad, but they had a lot of buybacks, and in the end, all they did is take a fight on like an awkward side of the map where at the end of the day, there were no objectives to be had. It was just like a sort of even trade.
You're talking about the right side map, right? On the bottom lane?
Yeah.
Tier 1 bottom dire?
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing too is, so Dusa games, I mean, Envy, you're probably one of the players most familiar with this hero in general. It's either you can just ball up, you sit behind her, she becomes this truck, you end the game, you don't really care, nothing can really touch you, or it becomes a game where you just get kited really easily, you need a secondary follow-up hero to lock people in place. It felt like there was just so much pressure on this Earthshaker to pretty much do everything in that game. Like if Afu gets a bad stun off, the game just kind of ended for them.
Yeah, if they ever see him and they ever see they pop EKBs, he can't really